Oh, 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 oh. Edges laid, hoop swing, lip gloss and a laugh. I walk in like Sunday, but I've been through some wrath. They see soft, see sweet, figure I'm easy to bend. They don't see me in the mirror trying to hold my own hand. Don't let my smile fool you. I've been breaking in the but flames don't bow, they only grow. A spark inside, a voice to show the world my name is written bold. We rise with our sun in the sky. No fear, no lie, just truth in our eyes. We're queens, we shine, no crown we deny. We rise.
What do you think about racial equality in the state of Georgia? Do you believe the two races are equal or not?
Well, that's a hard matter to stipulate. I would like to say this, that there are more Negro colleges in the city of Atlanta than any city in the world. There are more Negroes own their own business in Atlanta than any city in the world. And also, there are more Negroes here that have nicer homes than any city in the world.
Segregation and the lack of civil rights legislation has not and does not contribute to their progress in this country, that they have failed on their own initiative. They need to clean up, they need to move forward and do things on their own.
Would you say that any superior Negro would be the equal of any common white man or ordinary white man?
I would say this, that most of the leading Negroes in this fight are mixed breed people. I think you'll have to admit that.
Do you believe that it's morally wrong for a Negro to sit next to a white man in a restaurant?
I'll say this, I think a property owner reserves the right to serve whom he please.
But morally?
I couldn't state that. I couldn't answer that at this time. In other words, you could look at that in 2 or 3 different ways. I would state this, that I think a property owner should reserve the right to serve whom he pleases in his place of business, because he does have the investment there. And if he can't protect that investment, no longer do we have free American enterprise. If it hadn't been for the Klan demonstrations, counter demonstrations against the Negro demonstration here this week, I certainly believe that this restaurant here today would have probably been forced to take some other action within the next few days. Thank you.
Okay. You're not in favor of sit-in?
No, sorry, they're doing wrong. They should get a job and go to work and make them some money and then buy what they want. They can't take it. We ain't going to give it to them.
Are you in favor of Klan activity? Beg your pardon? Are you in favor of Klan activity?
As long as they're orderly and everything, because the Klans are not taking sides whatsoever. The wrong side and the right side. They're on the right side.
Thank you.
So I think Klan is doing a good job.
Mr. Maddox, would you think it fair if I described you as one of the leading segregationists in the state of Georgia?
Not too much so. I think we have about 3 million people who feel like I do, at least that many. And I am grateful at this time, and I want to thank the Negro community in Atlanta, some 200,000 of them, that less than 1,000 of them will get out here and act a monkey like these people have. I think it's a credit to the most of our people in this city, especially our colored people. They have refused to become a part of this agitation.
Do you believe that Negroes and whites are equal? racially?
No, sir, I do not. I think that when we teach people to
Damn. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Friday episode of the Can We Be Frank show. Am I coming in clear? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Tavares, there's another video that I would like for you to play.
Yeah. Yeah, you can shoot it to me on the back end.
I think it's in our messenger, but let me check.
Yeah. So this was 1964. This was what, 50, 60 years ago? 62 years ago. And the most interesting thing about this video, hey, how you doing? Good evening, Miss Thomas. Good evening, Miss Dixon, Miss Hall. Most interesting thing about that clip is the fact that, those people had kids, right? And those kids are my mom's age now. And those kids had kids. And those kids are my age. So we're literally just one generation removed from this type of animalistic bestiality behavior by our pasty counterparts. The thing that I gravitated to the most, let's just run it back. For those of you that just missed it, we are here. Please share this live out. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. For those watching us on other platforms, if there's a share button, hit the share button. Please and thank you.
You gotta turn that background music off, though.
Who?
That background music playing.
Oh, it's still playing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the intro music. It's low. I can't hear it. There it goes. All right. So yeah, now that that's done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this back and I'm going to help you guys catch up. No mustard.
What do you think about racial equality in the state of Georgia? Do you believe the two races are equal or not?
Well, that's a hard matter to stipulate. I would like to say this, that there are more Negro colleges in the city of Atlanta than any city in the world. There are more Negroes own their own business in Atlanta than any city in the world. And also, there are more Negroes here that have nicer homes than any city in the world.
segregation and the lack of civil rights legislation has not and does not contribute to their progress in this country, that they have failed on their own initiative. They need to clean up. They need to move forward and do things on their own.
Would you say that any superior Negro would be the equal of any common white man or ordinary white man?
I would say this, that most of the leading Negroes in this fight are mixed breed people. I think you'll have to admit that.
Do you believe that it's morally wrong for a Negro to sit next to a white man in a restaurant?
I'll say this, I think a property owner reserves the right to serve whom he please.
But morally?
I couldn't state that. I couldn't answer that at this time. In other words, you could look at that in two or three different ways. I would state this, that I think a property owner should reserve the right to serve whom he pleases in his place of business, because he does have the investment there. And if he can't protect that investment, no longer do we have free American enterprise. If it hadn't been for the Klan demonstrations, counter demonstrations against the Negro demonstration here this week, I certainly believe that this restaurant here today would have probably been forced to take some other action within the next few days.
Thank you. Okay.
They clap.
Did I hear yay?
They clap. Do you understand what I'm saying? They clapped. There was a group of people gathered on the sidewalk during this interview, and they literally clapped. Hold on. Oh, but wait, there's more.
You're not in favor of sit-in?
No, sorry, they're doing wrong. They should get a job, go to work, and make them some money, then buy what you want. They can't take it. We ain't gonna give it to them.
Are you in favor of Klan activity?
You're not grasping what I'm saying here. You're not really. Look, let me show you something. Can I? They won't let me blow it up. Do you see the kids in the background, the teenagers in the background, the adults in the background? Look at all these white angry faces. Why so angry? Let's find out.
Beg your
Are
pardon?
you in favor of Klan activity?
As long as they're orderly and everything, because the Klans are not taking sides whatsoever. There's wrong side and right side, and they're on the right side.
Thank you.
So I think Klan is doing a good job.
He said the Klan is not on either side. But in the previous clip, the Klan showed up as counter protesters to people like the Freedom Riders that are doing the sit-ins. So even way back then, you could see the contradiction in their actions, in their words, how they're able to just so fluidly lie in front of a camera and not in front of a camera. They're willing to do the most to treat Black folks like the least. That's Georgia. Just imagine what was going on in Louisiana during that time. Just imagine. We like, are we talking Colfax? Hold on, somebody just, let me see. I'm gonna pull this out. And then you have, let's see what's happening in modern day if we can. Okay, hold on. Okay, I can't get into the video because I don't have the account. It's on Instagram. I haven't signed in yet. But Hug a Thug policies watered down the criminal justice system. And that was said by Jeff Landry. And I do want to see this. So I'm gonna try to locate it somewhere else. So moral of the story is we're not that far removed from this this breakdown in common decency from people who tout to be the most decent people on earth, the most God-fearing, neighbor-loving, the most. It's just the most. Let me see if I can get this. Okay, that's another one on Instagram. I can't get to it. So, yeah. So the moral of the story being, it seems like even in this day and age, we'd have to keep our heads on a swivel when it comes to certain things. And racism is definitely one of them. It's not going anywhere. They're still using epithets from what, 5 centuries ago, 4 centuries ago. It's like they haven't upgraded their stereotypes. They're still using watermelons and chickens and all this other stuff, all these things that try to degrade us and bring us down a notch. And so that's what this particular thing is about, right? Let me see if I can pull up this other clip. Yeah, if I can get that clip, if you can give me that clip and it's not on Instagram, I can get to it, but I can't get to it as it were. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can. Now, and the other reason that I brought it up is because we're definitely not that far removed from it. Hold on, I got this.
So you can't pull the videos up? Why?
because it's on Instagram, and I don't have this. I'm not signed in on this device.
Oh.
Yeah, so it won't let you watch it unless you're signed in, and I can't. It won't let me log in with my Facebook account because my Facebook account isn't attached to the Instagram.
Crime or single white man feeling oppressed. Y'all get way less.
It's so hold on. Let me share it. So again, fast forward to this year, right? In the South, this is Texas now. Watch this.
So you tell me if you're a white.
I can't hear it on this end.
Sentence.
Oh, okay. It might not have picked up.
I can't hear you on this end.
So you tell me if you're a white man in America, you get 30 days in prison for touching kids. And y'all keep saying white privilege don't exist. And I'm going to say as respectfully as I can. I don't want to hear black crime or single white man feeling oppressed again, because y'all get away with touching kids, bro. Or y'all get way less sentence.
30 days. Texas attorney gets 30 days for the most heinous crime. Yet we have people around here touting this antiquated 1350 incorrect statistic about 13% of the population committing 58% of the, whatever it is. The truth of the matter is, Black people make up 60% of all exonerations, which means those are wrongful arrests and wrongful convictions, right? So again, when I say 2176, that number reflects the 21% of the population producing 76% of all child-related pornography. That 21% is the totality of the white male population in America. So again, I'm pointing at the fact that it's selective. Their justice is selective. It's not on an even keel across the board. It's selective, and you are the selected criminal. It's predetermined, right? And people may think that we're being salacious or we're trying to, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, however you may feel about it. But at the end of the day, let's look, right? Let's be honest. All right. I got a ton of clips. That's why I wish I could get the one that she talking about. But let's remove that. Right? Because I mean, eventually we're going to have to say these things out loud. And they're not popular thoughts. Right? They're not popular thoughts. They're not, you're not allowed to say some of this stuff. For some reason, we're to speak on it. Go ahead.
Okay, so real quick, I wanted to show you something. Give me a second. So it says here the youngest age of consent in the USA is.
Wait, you went out. Your microphone went out. Hold on. Let me see.
Rican teen neighbors.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So let me finish reading it to you
Can't
what it
hear
says.
nobody.
Okay. It says while 30 plus states set the limit at 6.
Oh, they really trying to cut her off. Oh, I think she's switching. You can't switch panels. Yeah, like you can't switch screens. You gotta, yeah, you can't because it'll mess you up. Oh, there goes Mr. Porter. Mr. Porter, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. We're trying to get Miss Alita's microphone because she's giving out some information, and every time she goes to say the number, it blanks her out.
Okay, so it won't let me switch screens. I can't. Well, anyway,
Right. What's the
um,
numbers?
the numbers. I can't even let you see the numbers because it won't let me.
We're talking about how the majority of the states don't have a minimum age to consent.
Yes, they have the minimum age of consent is 16. Louisiana is one of them states that have the age of 16.
In
California is trying to
California,
pass a bill
yeah,
where you can have relations with kids younger than that.
this is America as we
Yep.
know it right now, right? And so I know we don't gather enough information about what's happening or what has happened to us as a group of Black people. A lot of people don't want you discussing race. They don't want you discussing disparities, whether they be economic. They don't want you talking about if you got brown water because it only affects you. Anything that personally affects you, they would rather not know about because it just affects you or your community. That includes everything from medical access to police involved in unnecessary police involved shootings or like just anything that would point to the disproportionality in the groups. Uh, they don't want you talking about it, right? And I didn't want to kind of lean on the whole essaying thing, but I just wanted to kind of clear cut show how the justice system it is built around subjugating and trying to trap trap Black folks into a cycle of violence. Now, uh, let me see if I can pull this up. It's pulling up the video before it starts playing, and I can't control it. Hold on.
I sent you the laws that I was just talking about, Tavares.
Tavares, I wanted to comment a little bit. I'm not for sure you guys can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I wanted to go back to the clip. I don't know if everybody remember the part where you see there's children out there with their parents when their parents are making those type of suggestions and statements about the Black community. When I looked at the child's eyes, the way that individuals looking at their parents, and the guy was giving the interview, it puts me in the mind the little girl watching and smiling at the lynching of Reuben Stacy, 1935. And when you say that, that racism is 1-2 generation removed, but epigenetics is here and is evidence that a lot of these children, a lot of the children of back then, we are the grandchildren, excuse me, the grandchildren we are living around, the great grandchildren that we're living around. You would think that they would already have killed that or changed their epigenetic towards us, but it's still there. And you can see it in policy, structural racism. You can see how we live versus they live. You see a lot of that because their parents passed that genetics on to their children, that behavior, that neuropsychology sees that all day long. And so I wanted to say that even though we have the epigenetics of being stagnated, hopelessness, and helplessness, they have the genetics as well as being hatefulness, selfishness, racism, and I mean this is a whole Webster dictionary of words that we can find. But I just wanted to make that comment. That's what I seen. I seen a little child, the eyes glaring, remind me of that picture that they caught 1935.
The Freedom Riders coming to Mississippi in the first place?
Well, I don't.
I messed that up. I thought it was gonna be cool when I did it. I tried to do it a different way. Yeah, that I sucked at that. I would run that clip anyway. But yeah, the epigenetics. Can you please explain epigenetics to the lay folks?
So epigenetic, from my perspective, is, so say for instance you have your genetics, you have something that's built on up on top of the genetics that you already have. Some of that's genetics. It can come out of, my understanding, from trauma. If you're and we're gonna just make it very lame. So say for instance you have we'll talk about mice, just something very simple. So you have a mice generation of mice. You have a mice that has adverse effect of peppermint. So they will electrocute the mice that smell peppermint, right? And so that mice go and have a litter, or whatever they call, more babies, rat babies, and then the rat baby will not go close or near the peppermint, even though they love the way it smells, because they know their parents got shocked. And then the mice beyond that won't even go nowhere even next to it, near it. So it becomes stored. The trauma becomes stored up on their genetics, which is epigenetics. That's just a lame term about it, but I know that it is something that's built upon your genetics, and it is altered by your environment. Now, there's a better term out there, but that's the way that I can deliver it.
No, I appreciate you. It's learned behaviors basically that
And
get passed down through generations.
yes, I get the right term here in a second. It's 9:30, so just
It's all right. It's all right. We came on kind of late. They had a long day, so I had to close my eyes for a second. But the fight continues, right? Anybody know about this? Right? Check this out.
This is cell phone video of two NYPD narcotics detectives wrangling with an unnamed man in Brooklyn.
The guy, I can hear him say, "Wait, what's going on?" The officers did not say we're NYPD. They didn't say that we're detectives. They didn't tell him you're under arrest, put your hands behind your back. They just started hitting him.
They didn't just hit him. See this screenshot right here where his leg is right where his head should be? Yeah, that's because he stomped on his head while he was already pinned down, and the guy was wrongfully accused. No worries, I found them. This motherfucker is Ruben Marte. And if you're like, that doesn't even sound white, it's not. It's because he's Latino. And this piece of shit, that's Michael P. Algerio. And if the government database wasn't enough for you, here is a photo of Ruben Marte. And as you'll see here, there's his badge number. He made $162,000 last year, and he has 7 complaints with 21 allegations of complaints. The most recent one before yesterday being in 2017, where he was another abuse of authority towards a black woman. And before that in 2012, abuse of authority, black woman. And before that in 2010, technically abuse of power by using a gun as a weapon towards a black male. Before that in 2009, abuse of authority, black woman. And before that, his first one, abuse of authority towards a black male. You seeing a pattern here? That means that 100% of his complaints are abuse of power towards black victims. Here's Michael Algeria with a clear photo of his face. Badge number, made $184,000 last year. Also 7 complaints and 21 allegations of complaints. You're also going to see a pattern here. The most recent one before yesterday being 2024, abuse of authority, black woman. Before that, in 2020, abuse of power, black woman. Before that, 2020, abuse of power, black man. And then before that, 2018, abuse of power, black man. Are we seeing a pattern here? And I found all of this information within 20 minutes of seeing this video for the first time. So I'm not really sure what the authorities and the media are doing. Now, Mayor Mamdani stated that they already have been suspended and had to turn in their badge and guns, but we also know how they treat police officers, especially when the victims are black. So I'm just making sure that the public is also holding them accountable because, fuck the police.
Is that my sentiment? No. Not all the way. But when you catch one of these mugs, you have to put them, because they won't tell on each other. Why? Because of the very first video that we saw. He said the Klan does things orderly. The Klan. You currently have a president and an administration that is going after the Southern Poverty Law Center for going after the KKK. This is the environment we live in now. This is our reality. And I would be remiss if I didn't. I wouldn't be keeping it real with you guys if I didn't point these. These ain't even things you got to point out. They're on the news every day. We're just so our epigenetics has kind of numbed us out to our what's happening to us on a regular basis. And yeah, it sucks. I get it, but you know, we really have to tighten up because these people that this thing is falling apart. It's getting so bad to where they're turning on each other. And all we gotta do is just remain steadfast in our vigilance and get the right people to represent us so that we do and are protected by the law and not ignored by the law or not mistreated by the law or having the law apply to us in an unfair fashion. Because it's not just about him getting his face kicked in. What's physically happening to him is happening to citizens in Alexandria that are Black every day. They do it to your pockets when he tells you that you can't talk about your utility bill. They do it to your face when they say it's okay to get gerrymandered, and you get the mayor and you get 4 council people to sign off on it, or 3 at least. And then when you do get the manpower and the votes to overturn it, the mayor comes back and vetoes it. It's just another kick in the face. And until we start looking at things from that aspect, right? Because that's pretty much what it is. It's just more blatant in your face racism. And they're okay with it because, oh, that's where I wanted to go. That's where I wanted to go. We're going to talk about something super real, right? Because Simlaw Day at the Capitol took place. That's right, folks. All your local business leaders took off and went to the Capitol so they could whatever the hell they were planning on doing. They did it, and again, right in your face. So I'm going to find. Let's see. Let me see. Because again, remember, the business community is what asked him to come and be mayor again, right? And this is the business community, what I'm about to show y'all. And we're about to show y'all what they were doing at the Capitol, right? He wasn't down there advocating for better water, right? He wasn't down there trying to fix your utility problem. He wasn't down there doing any of that. He was at the Capitol in a room full of people that don't look like you, that don't have any of your interests in any of their agendas. The business leaders, remember, the business leaders of Simlaw, right? And they think that like they're beyond critique, right? They think that they're above the program, right? They think that their words are the last and final resonating sound that you're going to hear in your future, your present as well. None of these people have ever come to your defense when you had a problem. And all these things, all these clips that I'm showing you are interrelated. And people can say all we do is cry about racism and racism doesn't exist. That room says otherwise. That room definitely says otherwise. Spot one. Oh, there's one right in the middle, right? Where's another one? Spot one. Spot one. Oh, there's another one. Oh, we got two. Oh, there's another one. Three. We got four. I listen. I think it's five. There's the fifth. 5 black people in a room full of white folks at the Capitol discussing nothing that has anything to do with your community. Period. Full stop. So they say that I agitate when I jump on these comment sections and I point out the obvious. Because the first question me and Nat had is, where are the black people at? And when I had to zoom in to look for them, that kind of, they rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not gonna lie, right? Rubbed me the wrong way. Oh, did I lose somebody? I did lose somebody. Oh, come on. There it goes. Yeah. It did. It rubbed me the wrong way. It rubbed me the wrong way. And again, I'm not wrong, right? It's just an observation. It's just an observation. But who is this right here? Who's that right there? Anybody? Who can guess who that is right there? Square in the middle with his fucking head held up. High as shit. Going into campaign season.
Somebody who's talking about with the baggy pants?
With the droopy pants. Mr. Droopy Pants. Mr. Droopy Pants. Surrounded by so many smiles of so many people that don't give a fuck about you. Including this lady over here in the corner. Because Lizzie was there too. Right? So let's find the black faces. Let's find them. Any over here? Hold on. Let's go over here. Nope, not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one. Oh, we got one. Not that one, not that one. Oh, we got another one. Not that one, 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 not that. Hold on. Keep going. Not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one. None of these people. None of these people. Not that one. Damn, and the picture's still going. Not that one, not that one. Oh, I think that's a bronze statue, but I'm not sure. That one. Oh, there's one. Not that one, not that one. That might be one. Not that one, 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 not that one. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I'm not tripping. I can't even make this shit up. Alexandria is 56% black, but you would never even know it. They make it so the optics show that you don't exist. And when they're up there, and Cynthia is telling Mr. White that he doesn't need to talk about this or he doesn't need to talk about that, they have black people helping them. So we got to figure out, what are we going to do to overcome that type of obstacle? Because that's an obstacle. I told you guys 10 years ago that Deborah Randolph is public enemy number one to the black economic structure. I told you that 10 years ago on this show. And it hasn't, it's all bared out true. Because you can tell the people that control the economic system are the ones that control the politics. And when you let people that are greedy, that are racist, when you let them control the politics of a city, what do you think the city's going to look like? It's going to look like what Jock Royce turned it into. And I want to give a shout out to Urban Cats. I know, right? I know. Far be it for me to ever say that. But they captured something. They captured something at that meeting that was so apropos. And it definitely, come on. Where's the clip? Here we go. Hold on. Let me run this back, right? Because I'm telling you, they have people helping them, right? So when I put this clown up, right? I put this clown up, people that were at that meeting should already know what I'm about to say and how I feel about it, right?
What meeting are you talking about?
We're talking about that Samtown Woodside neighborhood group meeting that took place the day before the city council meeting on the 20th. But let me see. I'm gonna run this clip, and I'm gonna go take Miss Lady, you can take over for it.
I can't hear it.
Can't hear it.
It didn't pick up the sound. I didn't set it up the sound. Hold on, stop sharing. Boy, I'm slipping tonight.
You
Big
sure are.
time. Big
Hey,
time.
hey, hey,
Big
hey, watch
time.
it, watch it, watch it.
Wasting time.
Hold on.
The jurisdiction of the state of Louisiana. Good evening. My name is Michael Caffrey. I'm the Deputy Chief Administrative
Still
Officer.
ain't working. Why you trying to take breaks and stuff? Do what you need to do before you take a
That
break.
runs through the city of Alexandria is the domain.
Was the audio playing?
Yes, it was.
Not for me. I'm gonna
I
just
can
get
hear
out
it.
of
You gotta leave and come back. I'm kicking you out.
Of the state of Louisiana. Good evening. My name is Michael Caffrey. I'm the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for the city of Alexandria. The Interstate 49 that runs through the city of Alexandria is the domain of the state of Louisiana. It is not the responsibility of the city of Alexandria. The city cannot place cameras or any other items on the interstate or the right-of-way thereof because it is the jurisdiction of the state of Louisiana through the Department of Transportation. That interstate is patrolled, like all state roads, primarily by the Louisiana State Police, not the Alexandria Police Department or even the Rapides Parish Sheriff's Department. However, they do from time to time have actions or activities on those particular byways or highways through their intergovernmental agreements, through those agencies and entities working in cooperation. However, the point of contact, again, for anything that deals with Interstate 49 is going to be the Department of Transportation, the governor's office, or the Louisiana State Police, not the city of Alexandria, not the council of the city of Alexandria.
Why he talking to us like he don't like us or something? Like he not black like us.
Because he
He talking
don't.
to us like we getting on his nerves or something.
Because he don't. So whatever that conversation was about the Interstate 49 is the issue.
That was the Eddie Williams stuff when they were racing.
Oh, where they was racing. Okay, yeah. Okay, I got you. That was the Eddie Wood that I guess say yeah. You and let me say this, and I understand, and I said this before, you guys, I try not to I can't bite my tongue about stuff that plays in my head. So what got me was in that area, a lot of different events have happened there that were not good. But when this whole situation with this drag racing happened, it became the center of a conversation or the center of a meeting, which they can have a subject matter of any issue that they have in their area. I just thought that was kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say hypocritical because
No,
that
I
wouldn't be
get
the
what
right.
you're saying. I get
You
what you're
know what I'm
saying.
saying?
I
Because there's
totally
a
get
lot
what
more
you're saying.
happens there. But I get it. I'm looking behind the scenes and I'm looking how things are being projected in some of our black areas, in our black communities. And like I said, my whole thing is until we make us priority, and I'm gonna say it again, whoever's listening, you can repeat it until I said it. Until we make us priority, We will continue sitting on the back burner. We will continue to have our parks and recreation for 2030 and 31 and 37 and 38 and 40. Okay? We're going to continue doing that until we make us priority. And I know this is not just happening in Louisiana and central Louisiana, in Alexandria. I know it happens in a lot of other states that do us the same way when we have the majority of the population. And it's because we have leadership that's not really leaders. We have leadership that does not know how to fight the system and do not know how to find another way of doing things. We get stuck on the same way of doing everything over and over again. We see that it doesn't work, but we continue doing it because that's quote unquote the traditional way of doing things. Until we become innovative, until we come out with new ways, we have people who know what innovation means. We're going to forever be in this cycle of things not working out. We're going to forever be in this cycle until we can get people in place that knows how to fight the laws, because they put laws in place on purpose to keep us from progressing, who knows, can be familiar with those laws, right? And they're able to fight those laws. We don't have that. We have a city council that don't even read the homeroom charter and do not even understand what their powers are on that city council, and do not know that they can fight with the laws that they have in that charter. Because if they did, they would do it, and they haven't been doing it. So we have this lackluster council that's allowing things to happen that shouldn't happen. We have people in the bed with the people who, and I'm saying that not in a literal way, I'm saying that in a metaphoric way, with the people who are hurting us. You cannot tell me that you're negotiating something that's not even supposed to be negotiated. It's supposed to be somebody in a position to do their job and to make things happen. Forget about trying to negotiate with everybody. Why are we doing this negotiation stuff? If it's for them, it should be for them. If that situation needs to be taken care of during that time, no question should be asked. But when you have people who don't know what they're doing and don't realize their powers, they're clueless of their powers. They don't know. If we can sit here and go through that whole homeroom charter and tell you section by section of what's going on, and you have people sitting up there that you elected to serve for you, to make sure you've gotten everything you need in your community, in your district. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? And I guess that's the thing that bothers me the most, that gets me, is because we don't even have the people we think that should be experienced enough to do the job, don't know how to do it. And it's not about us always criticizing you guys. Oh, they always have something negative to say about us. Even when people come to you and tell you that, you should have done this. This is another way you could do this. Not saying that you have to take anybody's advice, but listening to them will help. You got too many people in your ears that are not for the people. That's another problem we're having. You have too many people in your ear, councilmen and women, that are not for the people. They're for personal gains. And you cannot run a city like that. Somebody is being left out in the cold. It's not about power and prestige. It's about you sitting up there serving the people. And this is why we said on that agenda, there should be something from your district every time you have a city council meeting. Whether it gets passed or not, it should be on that agenda. Because at least the people know that you're concerned about them, at least. And they have to understand that y'all need all those votes in order for things to happen. They have to understand that. We get that. But at least put something on that agenda that's pertaining to your district.
Thank you. Thank you for holding it together. I see you didn't get that upset. As you can see, I'm using my calm voice this evening. I'm not using any curse words. I'm trying to appeal to the people that don't normally watch this show. But for the rest of you guys that know what kind of shit we be on, don't worry. Don't worry. I got a gift for you. I got a gift for you. Let's go back and look at this. Point of contention this week, my highlight for this week is addressing. Hold on. Addressing Curtis. Curtis said he wasn't coming outside, even though he was already outside. Then when somebody asked him to come outside or come to the table from being outside, Curtis said no. But when he was ordered to come outside by his handler, guess what he did?
The legal committee is convened. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Ms. Coulter? Here. Mr. Fowler? Mr. Lorverdane?
I'm here.
Mr. Chair, you have a committee. You have a quorum.
All right. Alexandria City Council meetings and council committee meetings are broadcast live and may be viewed live by the public Optimum Cable Channel 4. A rebroadcast may be viewed on Optimum Cable Channel 4 in the City of Alexandria website, www.cityofalexandriala.com. Item number 1, to consider final adoption of an ordinance rescinding ordinance 178-2024 that authorized the mayor to enter into an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Alexandria and the Greater Alexandria Economic Development Authority, GATA District, for the purpose of cooperative economic development, general services related agreement and agenda, and otherwise providing with respect thereto. Does anyone in the agenda administration want to speak on this item?
We don't know what it's there for.
Okay, well, I'll put it.
But he said, shit, I don't even know why we talking about this. I had this for a couple of weeks, but what was we talking? What are we talking about? I mean, what you trying to rescind? You trying to renegotiate? Something like that. Because that we might. But I'm just saying, I don't even know what this shit's about.
Put it there because I'm trying to figure out what is the ordinance. What is that particular ordinance?
The ordinance states what it states about itself.
Basically,
I don't like the way he be talking to us. Like, I just, that's why I like when Mr. Malcolm says what he says and talk to him like a man, because a lot of them allow Jock Ward to talk to them like they snails. You know? I don't like how he talks to us, because the way he talks is the same way Fowler and Villard talk. They follow behind him.
They have no respect. That's what people have to
Yes.
understand. They have no respect.
Hold on. I want to kick a field goal. Who is that guy sitting to his right?
What is
His right, that's Caffrey. His right is Caffrey. His left is Goins.
Jonathan Goins, right? We know Caffrey, right? From his famous speech at the Samtown Woodside. You see what I'm saying? His right-hand man. And then let me add a layer to it. Jock doesn't want to directly interface with you colors. So he's going to send one of his do boys. Right? And his do boys is not there. Listen, they're not there to discuss anything. They're there to tell you what Jock told them to tell you. And they're not there to answer any questions. Just like Jock said, the council can't answer any questions when the people come up and comment, right? They're not there to answer any questions because Jock doesn't answer to nobody.
Right?
Okay.
So corporate, it's been in place for a long time.
All right, well.
I think you probably have folks here that you want to speak to.
Yeah. No, I specifically asked you what? Let me throw my glasses across the room. Brother Malcolm asked you a very simple and fucking straightforward question. What is in the ordinance? And all of a sudden, you say it says what it says. But what does it say?
See, that type of stuff made me jump all across the table on somebody. You know that
That's why
video?
I
I wish
can't
we
be
could play
the
that
judge.
video. You remember that that black man jumped across the table on that judge?
Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
When she got sentenced, that little comment right there made me want to do just that. And
Yeah.
Malcolm in the right position too, because he a little higher. You see what I'm saying? And Roy is lower, so he could just boom
Go
straight
down over the
cold
top
burst
of
him
man in
right
his
quick.
belly.
And give him in the chokehold.
Yep.
Now, I want you to pay attention to the looks on these faces. This is the look of concern.
They were astonished.
They
And
were
he's drinking.
astonished. What? What? We're going to
What did you
discuss that.
say?
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Okay. Anyone from Gator like to speak about it?
Man, and I feel like Brother Malcolm anticipated this move. I feel like he did. I feel like he knew that Jock would try to deflect, right? And so he goes into second gear. Okay. Anybody from Gator one? Okay. Listen.
My name is Stephen McGee. I am the chairman of Gator, the Greater Alexandria Economic.
Shout out to Brother Steve with them polo pants, bro. I ain't seen them shit since high school, bro. I don't even know where you got them from, but I know they polo.
Look, only OGs can wear stuff like that.
Only OGs wear, and I think they creased up too.
Yeah.
Cold piece of work.
He ain't got no
Development Authority.
like Roy, dude.
But again, he ain't got the extra slack in the middle like Winnie the Pooh over here. That's a nasty little lean.
Hey, wait. Let me say this. He asked him for a raise because he got to buy some new pants, y'all. Stop.
No, he needs to go ahead and get the ones that he got tailored.
I don't know
It's
what he
going to
got
cost him that
for,
new
'cause
raise.
he definitely need a goddamn stylist because he's not using it for his
Yeah, he's
outfits or his
not.
hair or his skin. Nothing that got to do with him looking presentable.
He's dressed like he's depressed.
In DC that was doing crack.
No, he looks like he's depressed.
No. What was his name?
Who?
The mayor of DC that was doing the crack.
Oh, damn. Harold or something? Harold somebody?
Mr. Porter knows.
Harold Washington, I think that was his name.
Marion Barry.
Barry and Garrett. Yeah, that's right. That's
Marion
right.
Barry, right? Even Marion Barry, while he was laid up in them hotels doing crack with hookers, when you seen him on TV, the boy was dressed.
He's just going through a moment. He can't afford nice suits. So stop.
Why not?
According to rescinding this ordinance, this intergovernmental agreement was, I would like to use the correct words. The way it was introduced was, I don't agree with the way it was. I wasn't.
That's a nervous tick. That's a nervous tick. Popping a peppermint in your mouth when you're not even talking to nobody is a nervous tick.
On the board at that time.
Why would that be?
The way he ate that shit like an alien would eat it. He, like I'm bullshit.
This was during a time when I was not on the board, but from what I understand, they walked in.
Did he just?
Stop
No,
talking.
don't tell me to stop. I'm picking up on everything now because I want to know. And I'm not making none of this up. I want to know why. Because if this ordinance was that important, and he's over here, he's literally in the motion of huffing and puffing. I'm trying to get to it. He's huffing and puffing.
Ordinance, this intergovernmental agreement was, I would like to use the correct words. The way it was introduced was, I don't agree with the way it was done. I wasn't on the board at that time. This was during a time when I was not on the board. But from what I understand, they walked in with an agreement, handed it down, voted on it. No one read the agreement. They just, I don't know. They signed it prematurely. I think one of the previous commissioners who was here at that time is here. He could maybe contest.
Now, who was that in the background?
C. Ray Lewis.
Okay, what did C. Ray Lewis say?
Don't
What do you
put me
mean?
in that.
What did he just say? What did he just
Don't
say?
put me in that.
He said, "Don't put him in that."
Yeah, we're gonna not put him in that. Okay, hold on. Yeah, we're gonna not put him in. I got it queued up already. I know where I'm going with this.
I'm not putting you in nothing. All I said was you were there. Were you not there?
Mr. McGee, hold on, Mr. McGee. Just tell us.
Okay, but you were there.
Mr. Malcolm knew when to stop. He said, "Were you not there?"
He should have been quiet. He shouldn't have said nothing.
Listen, that moment would have passed, and nobody would have blinked an eye.
Yeah.
Y'all protest this too much. You picked the wrong moment and you exposed your hand, right? And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because me and Curtis had a back and forth this week. And Curtis got to talking to me about how his brand won't be disparaged and all this other bullshit, right? And I simply asked him a question about this very moment. So we'll keep playing. I'm not going to pause it anymore.
The agreement, the way we read it, is not really a valid agreement. It's not really a valid contract.
What does it do?
What they're asking for is $1.25 million that they are going to match with 1.3, if I'm correct, to gut out a building, the Wise and Gorings building, which is currently assessed at $404,000. Doesn't have a development plan, doesn't have a developer. The contract states that we would just give the money to them, or we would pay whatever certain invoices that they would turn in after they were paid. But to do what? Shut the building into a box.
Has Gator received any city invoices?
No, not well. Yes, I think we have received some invoices, but we have a problem with the contract. The contract has no end date. It has no date that it would end.
That means that they were going to collect that in perpetuity. And if
He knew what he was. They knew what Jock knew what he was doing when he did that. Jock knew exactly. Trey Gist, all of them knew what they were trying to do. Like everyone was saying, they're trying to bankrupt Gator so Gator would not be no longer in existence. He has a long-standing vendetta against Gator, and it shows. It shows.
Do you think that his long-standing beef with Gator, would you think that he would employ other people to engage in the activities as well?
Of course, that's what he did. That's what he did. He did it when he exchanged when Greg Upton came in place and when Callis came in place. We knew, I mean, I said it. I stood up there and said that he had a hand in all that. I stood up right there at that what's the name, and said the same thing, that you can see Jock written all over this. I don't know, everybody's surprised.
Yeah. So
it has no return for our investment or for us giving the money.
How much?
We're actually doing something that a developer should be doing when he gets ready to do something with the building, when there's a plan.
How much are the invoices?
I'm not sure. Our executive director.
You know what really pisses me off about this whole moment? Jock knew exactly how much those invoices were.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah, you can look at him and tell he knows what's going on. That's why I said everything is written. His signature is on everything. It's an invisible signature on everything they did, from coming together and creating this contract with Greg Upton, C. Ray Lewis, Callis, and all of them. All of this has Jock Roy's invisible signature all over it. And that's what people have to realize. For a mayor to be so vindictive, spends all his time being vindictive instead of doing his job as the mayor. It doesn't make any sense. And this is what y'all want to keep having. I mean, this is what you're going to keep getting. Anything black, he finds a way to try to close the doors on it. Anything that's progressively black, he always has to put his hands on it because he has an issue with black people. I don't care how much you surround yourself with flunkies and sellouts. You have an issue with black people.
Director, Ms. Angie Bernardo could probably answer that question better than I can. All right. As far as the invoices. But this is also not a project that Gator, it's not something that we see that we should be involved in.
Motherfucker. I never noticed that some bitch sit up there and laugh when he said that. Did y'all see him just now?
Yeah, because that's when he read that what's the name saying that they can do that.
Listen.
Director, Ms. Angie Bernardo could probably answer that question better than I can.
Why?
As far as the invoices. But this is also not a project that Gator, it's not something that we see that we should be involved in.
He laughed.
Okay. Anything else like that?
He laughed and he looked at Jonathan Goins. What? The people don't want to spend their money on a goddamn Whites and Gold Ring building. What's so funny about that?
They be sitting there with them computers, don't be doing a goddamn thing.
Them boys be texting each other.
That's just their way of, they miss.
Yeah, that's a distraction. Jock chews food and drinks water. Goins does it too. They all do that shit as a distraction to make it,
It looks passive, like they're not engaged.
Because most of the time they're not.
That's every single meeting. That's how you avoid conversation.
That's right. That's right.
That's why
that's right.
That. And then when it's time for somebody to ask them a question, they looking, and that's why Mr. Jules Green was like, no answer.
He's laughing.
You got to be prepared.
He's literally laughing right now. How different is that from the first clip I showed you? How we started this show. How different is his actions than what they were doing back then?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think I want to say, Mr. Ranson, it totals to the request reimbursement about $52,000. I'm not sure.
Jock knows the answer, and he's not saying anything.
Because he wants to make her look a certain way to ours. Come on now.
It's because if he tells the answer, he'd be telling on himself. That's why. That's why.
I see poor leadership all across the board.
Yep, exactly.
Them people said, we do not wish to engage in this bullshit ass contract. Jock's response was, well, we've been in it for a long time anyways. I mean, what's the big deal? I don't even know what we're talking about. I don't know. And you're going to laugh at these people. That's okay, Jock. I got you, bro.
Sure, but I can get that information to you.
So how much have you received in invoices?
I'm sorry?
Like how much have you received in invoices?
That's the amount, I think.
How much is? What
like $52,000 or something like that over a course of a couple of years.
The first time we saw this, we didn't pay attention to Jock. We were more concerned about what Ms. Bernardo was saying. But as she's talking, he's shaking his head because he knows the truth. He knows the truth. And he's sitting up there literally, and we say this all the time, but he's literally sitting up there playing in y'all faces.
Let me go back to the beginning. I don't know if that's 52,000 or not, but
oh, she's catching on. He's a little upset.
I'm going to get it for you. What I do want to say is, you asked what this ordinance does.
You see that swaying back and forth? Those are all nervous ticks. I'm telling you.
Them ain't no nervous ticks. Them not. That's anger, Tavares. That ain't no nervous. That's anger.
I mean, okay, anger. Look at this. Look at this.
What this intergovernmental agreement does. It was in It was valid years ago during Mayor Roy.
Hey, shout out to OG Steve. Do you see the laser stare that he's got between him and Jonathan Owens?
That's an OG right there. Posted against the wall too.
Y'all don't understand. There's some real shit happening in this moment. The business is getting stood on. Listen, y'all, that's such an inspiration. At least we got somebody that's standing on something around us. It's not enough of us. There's not enough people willing there and go in there and stare down the mayor and his funky ass administration. It's not enough of us. They beat the shit out of Cornelius White. You know.
Please don't do that.
You know what I'm saying? They handled him rough. Bad. But if Cornelius was about 30, 40 years younger and a little bit stronger and a little bit leaner, it shit wouldn't have went like that.
It would have not. It would have been chairs everywhere.
It would have been a tornado.
WWE WrestleMania for them.
It would have been tables, ladders, and chairs.
Cornelius is my guy. He calls me every other day. Miss Jackson. He calls me every other day.
But as you can see, there is a staring contest, and I know Steve ain't gonna flinch. But let's keep it going.
For his first term. During Jeff Hall's term, the then board canceled it. They came back with another new board and they reinstated it. And it was basically, they didn't want to have to submit like through our application process or our intergovernmental agreement, so they could just shoot stuff to us like Riverfed, Winterfed, and we would just do it. Right.
So again, I want to ask the question. If Jock Roy is given the reins and the checkbook to do as he pleases for these silly ass fests that is going on right now, they're out there parading around and dancing on the plantation at this very second. Why is he sending the invoice to Gator for the feds?
Especially after we didn't already pay for it.
Exactly, because you know what? It's in the budget, right?
It's in the budget, yes. We didn't already pay for
So why they going to Gator and getting invoices from
the
Gator?
budget, so we paying for it for next year too. So
yes. So what's going on here?
Just like the money I asked when they posted about that Ferris wheel, y'all having entry fees or whatever to pass the line or whatever the case may be. What are y'all doing with that money and how are y'all gonna track it? Because I want to know.
So what she's talking about is this weekend, there's a Ferris wheel, right? It's free to ride, but for 1 day pass, it's $10, and with that $10 on that 1 day pass, you get front of line privilege. You can ride that sumbitch till the sun goes up and down, right? But for $20, you can get it for both days. So where's that money going?
We know
it's
it ain't
going
going
to the
towards
Ferris wheel.
You know it ain't going towards brown water. I know it ain't. I know where it ain't going.
I know it's not going towards where. Okay. So my question is, why? Because this might seem minuscule, but we're uncovering something that could potentially be malfeasance. Because if they're charging Gator back for the stuff that Jock is doing, but there's no accountability for where that money that they charge, that Gator gives the city, there's no accountability for where that money goes. You spent the money that you were going to spend. Why are you giving someone else an invoice?
That's why he looked nervous and drinking water and shuffling papers like he playing cards.
These are all cues.
Is that why? Looking like it.
These are all cues.
Check, right. I advised against that, as Mr. Moeller did back then. He didn't want to continue to do that, and neither did our board. So now we have another new board, and they did not want to continue to do it. That intergovernmental agreement also had addendums. One with the Wise and Gold Ring building that Mr. McGee just mentioned to you, and the other one was for us to be at the Bolton Avenue Community Center. Our legal counsel has advised us to halt on that because she felt like it was a gratuitous donation. So that in a nutshell is where we stand. And this current board does not want to go forward with any of
Stop it
that.
for a minute.
We're
So that's why they were trying to force them in that Bolton Avenue building so he could watch over them. That's what that is. That's his little capital, his little what you call that center? What you call that? Nerve center.
Yeah.
And that's what he wanted to do. He wanted them in that Bolton Avenue, a community center, so that he can have an eye on them, somebody telling everything they were doing.
You talking about the police department that's right across the way?
No, yeah, no. Bolton Avenue is down the street. It's down further down.
Police department right across the street from that.
Oh,
That's
it
what I'm
is?
saying. It's still in the area. Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That was, but he has his little, he's got a couple of his, that's where Safe Alex is, if I'm not mistaken. He needed somebody to be watching her. Do you guys see the pattern we be talking about? The reason.
Remember, he wanted Gator to be an arm of the city.
Yeah, exactly. So he could watch and see where that money was going, how they were spending that money. That's what he was doing.
That's what he was setting up. And
yeah.
In his words, his money.
Yeah, he said that's my money. That's what he said.
His word. And Roy,
it's my money.
It's my money, like a fucking kid on the.
No, that's JG Wentworth.
Yeah, JG
Wentworth. It's my money.
I need it now.
I need it now. Yeah. So that, and she said that her attorney said that is not what because you can't do that. They're not an arm of the city of Alexandria. They're from the state legislation body. Yeah.
Remember, that's what he wanted to do with him the first time.
That's right. He wants to be where he can watch her. Wow.
Welcome to work with the city, but we feel like the money can be used in a better manner than on the Wise and Gold Ring building.
He raised his head up then. He looked at it then.
That just won't let it go, man. That man is dead. Don't nobody give a damn about Harry Silver or that building. I said it.
Rest in peace. Hold on.
Does not want to go forward with any of that. We're welcome to work with the city, but we feel like the money can be used in a better manner than on the Wise and Gold Ring building.
Now, in this very moment, Jonathan knows she's wrapped up her statement. Jonathan is now motioning over to Malcolm. Let's see what he says.
Mr. Rick Ranson is here to speak to Mr. Ranson.
Mr. Rick Ranson is here, and he would like to speak. He can speak to what's going on.
Because Rick Ranson is his watchdog for Gator. That's why.
He's not speaking?
Oh.
Chop waved him off.
Oh, wait. I missed that.
Goins called an audible on the play.
Oh, wow.
Chop waved one. Let me show y'all it. Let me show y'all the games they playing in.
Red flag, challenge flag.
Shit.
They did not want to continue to do it. That intergovernmental agreement also had addendums. One with the Wise and Gold Ring building that Mr. McGee just mentioned to you, and the other one was for us to be at the Bolton Avenue Community Center. Our legal counsel has advised us to halt on that because she felt like it was a gratuitous donation. So that in a nutshell is where we stand. And this current board does not want to go forward with any of that. We're welcome to work with the city, but we feel like the money can be used in a better manner than on the Wise and Gold Ring building.
Mr. Rick Ranson is here to speak to Mr. Ranson.
What was that? What was that?
What the hell?
Jock waved them off. Jock said there'll be no audibles.
That's crazy.
We're not going to talk. Look, we don't have to acknowledge these black. Listen, they're
King
toxic.
Roy said, "Sit your behind down."
Yeah, he said, look, we're not going to address. I'll take care of this shit.
And this the time Miss Angie had pissed him off, y'all, because when she
Yeah,
used that word, what's that word she said, y'all?
Gratuitous.
gratuitous,
He
gratuitous.
started using it from this point on until the end of the meeting, y'all.
Damn.
Now let me
Oh, it's Mr. Porter.
Mr. Porter.
yeah, let me point something out also. The statute that created Gator, it does not make Gator, like you already said, a subsidiary of the city of Alexandria. Gator is an independent agency. And Gator's mission is to promote economic development within the boundaries of Alexandria. Now, Gator can choose to work on joint projects with the city, but Gator is not required to work on projects that the city bring to them. If they would like to, they can. But Gator has the authority granted to them by the state legislature to work on projects that they decide, their commissioners decide they would like to work on. And the projects must be for the purpose of economic development in the city of Alexandria. So what I'm saying is that if the mayor wants to come to Gator and ask them to participate and cooperate and partner on a project, Gator can decide if they want to do that or not. And likewise, Gator could go to the city and say, we would like the city to partner on a project that we're doing. And the city can say, no, we choose not to, or yes, we would like to be part of it. But so working with the city is great, but Gator does not have to. Gator can pursue their own projects as long as they generate economic development in the city. So the mayor, by coming to them and forcing them to work with the city on Wise and Go Ring, or work with the city on any other project, that's not what Gator was commissioned to do. And then the other part is Gator, as a separate agency, is not required to negotiate with someone who is not an authorized agent of the city of Alexandria. So first of all, Gator doesn't have to do this at all, okay? As long as they are complying with the state statute that created them, they're okay. Now, the mayor is saying, no, this is my money. You work for me. You're going to get, and we're going to put you in a building where the city owns, and we're going to control your access to that building, and we will control everything you do there. And Gator is like, no, we're a separate agency. We'll get our own building and we'll choose our own projects. Now, if we choose to work with you on a particular project, yes, we'll do that. But if we choose not to and work on something else that we want to apply the money to, we will do that also. And if you send an agent who wants to talk with us, whether it's Rick Ranson or whoever they choose, as long as they are an authorized agent of the city of Alexandria, okay, we'll sit down and listen to what they have to say. Other than that, they're just somebody having a casual conversation, and there's no commitment and there's no binding agreement with that. But I wanted to interject that at this point, because of what Angie said. I think she's being magnanimous by saying, yeah, we'll work with the city. We'll discuss possible partnerships, possible collaboration on projects. But the statute doesn't say that that's what they have to do. And they are not a subsidiary of the city of Alexandria, like Jack Roy is stating.
Thank you, sir.
He's not speaking? I mean, if we need to speak to clear up anything after the other speakers do, we will.
So he just knows he's in the right, mind you, right? Jock is he's feigning the position of the favorite in this negotiation deal, which is not really a negotiation deal.
He just don't want them to say too much. That's all.
Right. He wants to be able to control the narrative.
Exactly. Like he speak for everybody else in the
Right.
Yeah,
He
he
just don't want
wants to
them to
be
say
able to
too much.
control what's being said.
Exactly.
You're
That
right,
way, you know.
Shamir.
Right.
But it's not our ordinance. I mean, I hear laugh. It doesn't make sense. It's you got this up calling it gratuitous. It's not.
Hold on, let me.
But he didn't say that. Mr. Bernardo said that.
Listen, him and Lindsay Felter got it bad. But when people laugh during a city council meeting, I mean, I hear people laughing. I don't know what the fuck's so funny.
It gets under their skin. Like, damn, we can't
I
laugh.
don't know what the fuck you guys were laughing at. The shit ain't funny. This is about my money.
Gratuitous. No lawyer will agree to that except, I guess, the lawyer that said it.
Well, I don't know. Because when you look up the word gratuity, that means something that you're doing in favor, in kind, and for. Like you offer a tip of gratuity to your server, right?
No, because gratuity is forced, really. You know, if it's at a restaurant, gratuity is forced. You know, like if you have a certain amount or whatever, they're going to add gratuity to your bill. But it's always an expensive place that where you're going.
Oh, see? So he was trying to force this gratuity on Gator. Nah, yeah. This is what I'm going to give you. You feel me? But you need to give me some. See, the thing that y'all don't understand is he was taking money from them and offering them something that people were already paying for. The Bolton Community Center was for the community anyway. Why the fuck would Gator need to center themselves there? They could just put in a request for the city if they wanted to hold a meeting there, but that's not where they don't want to hold their meetings at community centers. They have offices. This is real. Jock, you don't hold your meetings at no community center. And you know, to the history of community centers, if you guys don't know, community centers are usually found in Black communities where
yes, they are. Yes.
They are government funded, right? This is federal government funded to put in Black communities that, well, they don't have the economic base as other communities, right? He didn't say, I'm going to put you over at the what's the west side branch of the library out there in District 5. He didn't say I was going to put you out there. He didn't say that, any of that. He put them Black folks in that Black organization. He put their ass in the community center to make sure that they knew and remember who they were. Yeah.
But we're happy to address things after everybody speaks. It's not our ordinance that's put up, so we'd like the benefit of hearing.
Does anyone else? Has any additional public comment on this issue? Yes, Mr. Dirk. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Dirk.
This one's
Margai.
so funny because he ain't know him at first, and then once he picked him up and he said the word receive,
He thought he
turned
had
his head
one.
so fast.
Dirk came in there, Dirk the whiskey came
favorite
in
one.
that bud, said, I'm putting up 20 tonight, baby.
I'm a resident of what is now District 2 on Southfield Drive. I'd like to avoid.
And I would like for you guys to realize what he just did. He just mentioned the gerrymandering without mentioning the gerrymandering. If you caught my drift.
He sure did.
Yes, yes, yes. So Jock doesn't know how to say, well, wait a minute, who's this one? I never met him before. And Mr. Dirk actually was recording. Good one.
Voice my support for this ordinance to rescind the agreement between the city of Alexandria and Gata in regard to the Weiss and Goldring building. And I'd like to thank Councilman Larvadane for bringing this issue forward. In 2016, when the notion of this building being donated first arose, a public meeting was held to discuss it. The Town Talk reported at that time that the majority of the people at that meeting.
Hey, listen, if that ain't a flex, I don't know what is. That boy getting flexed on right now. He done went and printed out the cover of the Town Talk from 2016 as a prop. So he could put it in their face. Because that's what you got to do sometimes. You got to put it in their face. Pause.
Were against receiving the donation. I quote from the paper. The majority of citizens speaking at the public hearing said the city has higher priorities than the Weiss and Goldring building, end quote. Others voiced concerns that allowing the property owner to donate after he was given notice of intent to demolish if he did not make needed repairs was tantamount to a government bailout. So the consensus then was that it was not a reasonable use of city funds to make the property safe and marketable. The responsibility should fall on the property owner. There were other pressing matters at the time.
Now, I want y'all to pay attention. He's not asleep. This is the most attentive Trey Gist has ever been at a legal affairs committee meeting. I'm talking about he might not be looking, but he's 110% invested in what's happening right now.
They need to change the structure of the office of this chamber anyway, because it's rude as hell to have your back turned to whoever is talking to you. I mean, that's weird to me.
I guess he's supposed to be, he doesn't have a reason to face the audience, but he has the choice to turn around and look at who's talking. He just doesn't. You know why? Because what the people are saying isn't important. They've got the paperwork. They got the whole city pencil whipped. That's right, champs. You guys are playing dominoes with a dirty cheater. So when he calls 5, when you call 5, he might put it down. But when Jock calls 10, he's writing down 25. Hey, you're getting pencil whipped.
Mayor Roy was driving the River Act forward and said publicly that there were already parties interested in partnering with the city to revitalize the building. The big idea touted at the time was a children's museum. That was 10 years ago. So,
and now what are they trying to do with Project Reignite?
A children's museum. Children's museum.
Right.
It's something about this children's museum to me now starting to sound shady.
It's not going to happen. It's a red herring. It doesn't, if he had this plan 10 years ago, that plan was only implemented so people would hurry up and get Weiss and Goldring fixed. And when that didn't happen at the pace that he wanted it to, well, he didn't need it to happen anymore. You know why? Because we had already got suckered in to taking it. He tricked the people into taking the Weiss and Goldring building under the auspices that they were going to repair it and turn it into a children's museum. Not knowing that 10 years later, he's still talking about another children's museum.
Yep.
And he's doing it currently.
Yep.
Not just a fluff, it's a campaign. He's campaigning. There's not going to be a children's museum. There's not. It's not. He's making shit up.
So here we are, 10 years later, and a few $100,000 deeper into the very same situation. Promises of interested parties and great hope for a children's museum, again, across town. But many folks are unaware that a condition of the donation set by the property owner at that time was that the property be separated from its 2 adjacent properties, the Reed typewriter building, and which still sits undeveloped, and also the parking garage behind the building. Those properties were held back 10 years ago, but the city took the parking building in donation again in 2023. And now we're talking about spending money to demolish that property. So once again, the property owner has evaded responsibility for the upkeep of his own investments. And I think we could all agree that the city doesn't need to be in the real estate business. Obviously, the real estate owns property. I would refer to it as the real estate development business. History has proven the difficulty of the city to make.
Yeah, whatever he just said pissed him the fuck off. You heard how loud he clicked that pen?
Yep, he clicked it loud. He sure did.
As hard as he clicked that something hard as hell.
These kind of deals. It's proven grossly ineffective at navigating real estate projects. So why not acknowledge this is not our lane, offer these properties at a greatly discounted price, and let the private sector make what they will make of it. And by the way, getting out of the real estate game would also mean not brokering a trade for another building. Let the private sector do their work. Let me be clear. I do not think GATA funds should be used to further subsidize this project. I'm actually thrilled that GATA is busy providing funds for initiatives in Alexandria that spark community development and engagement at the neighborhood level.
Do you see what he did there? How he utilized the word spark?
The word spark, yeah. I saw
Oh, that is
that's
Iowa
burn.
chips.
Burn.
Good job, Mr. Dirk Nowinski.
We have numerous economic development efforts.
Oh, that pissed him off. Damn.
It's happening at the
Look
industry
how
level.
his face is.
Oh, look, he's trying to figure out what everybody else is thinking. Yeah, I wonder what the fuck he's thinking.
So the work that GATA is doing is very unique. And
hey, side note. Do you realize that GATA is one of the few people that invest in the Juneteenth parade and the Juneteenth activities? And that lady that runs the Juneteenth program every year has to beg the city of Alexandria for assistance. And most of the time they get it from
That's
GATA.
true. I saw that in one of the meetings that she was up. I saw that, y'all. I saw
Every
that.
year she got to beg them. She got to come up there and beg them, like what's the name? Yeah, every year. I said that a long time ago. Why do she have to do that?
He's taking all of GATA's money. Guess what he's also ensuring? That they won't be able to do anything about things like Juneteenth. When your money's already accounted for by this administration, there's absolutely no type of money extra that you have to ingratiate or to help out with activities that focus predominantly on the Black community. Everybody can celebrate Juneteenth. Hell, to me, everybody should celebrate Juneteenth. But the people like John, not so much.
Vital to this region. I don't think siphoning off up to $1 billion of their funds for the failed Weiss and Gold Ring experiment is a good use of those funds. Plus, the recent wave of publicity around the $40 to $80 million Reignite project certainly indicates that there's plenty of capital money available from the city coffers. Why fight for GATA's money? The lawsuits surrounding
Oh, he didn't like that. He did not like that.
That is nasty.
GATA over the last 2 years, hear me, are petty and messy. They've contributed greatly to the erosion of public trust in this civic governing body.
Boom. Water drink. Water break. He's talking too much. I can't say shit. I gotta drink some water. I gotta distract myself from being.
Then that water hot too.
You know that water. Warm ass water.
Let me add a thank you to Councilperson Fowler for finally filling his vacant GATA seat.
Congratulations, Mr. Fowler. Man, this man has got.
Look how Roy looked at him.
Yeah, he's got the smackdown for that ass. But you know what's really funny? Jock is the one that told him to fill that position.
Of course.
Jock is the one that told him to fill that position.
Yeah, of course he did. Yeah.
And I strongly urge councilpersons Ms. Felter and Mr. Villard to do the same. End the tacit embargo and fill those seats. It will enable GATA to fulfill its mission, investing in meaningful community development and engagement.
So let's ask a question. All right. What does tacit embargo? Oops.
Is Mr. Dirk running for mayor?
No.
I bet you Jock think he is.
Yeah. Embargo is used in the video to describe an implicit or unstated restriction on the Greater Alexandria Economic Development Authority. The speaker suggests that by failing to fully seat the GATA board, the city is effectively imposing an informal blockade that prevents the authority from functioning and fulfilling its mission or completing its work. Good on you, sir. Good on. Where's it? Let me put this on that thing with the what you call it.
You did a good job.
I urge all of you to vote in favor of this ordinance and make this a veto-proof decision for the good of this city. And
yeah, that was a direct shot at Jock. This guy, he didn't come to play, first off.
You use so many fighting words, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, if I was Jock, we wouldn't have had to wait to go outside. Oh, dang.
And then on another day, consider a different way to deal with the Weiss and Goldring building. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jules knows what's up. Oh, wait a minute. This is the legal committee. Wait a minute. All of them are there except for Blanc? All these people ain't on the legal committee. Everybody showed
Right.
up.
No, they just came up there.
It's a legal affairs, so I don't know why they was up there.
Yeah. All right.
Good evening, everyone. Candy Christoph, and I want to thank everyone for you all for bringing this up. I totally concur with everything that Dirk just said, in the manner that he said it, in the spirit of unity that he said it, and I think that we can use our funding a whole lot better to serve the people of Alexandria rather than in the particular building. I think that it's not in the city's business of developing. I totally agree that that's not GATA's lane. That should not be our lane for the city government, and that we can use our taxpaying dollars better. And I would urge you all to please rescind that, because we can do better than that. We can do better than that.
Thank you.
All right. He's kicking ass and taking names. He writing it every time somebody says something.
Yeah, you see, he writing fast too.
Yeah,
like he got to turn it into the teacher at the end of the day.
I ain't doing shit for you ever. Yeah, Dirk, man, I don't even know you, but I'm not doing shit for you ever.
Allow those comments. Does the administration have a response?
You know what? Well played, Malcolm. Well played, sir.
Thank you.
He's begging for help.
Emotion again.
He's begging for help. Come on, man. Come on, man. Help me out here. Shit.
Since my name was called, let me
Oh wow.
So Curtis, the next time you want to talk about a goddamn assumption that I made, motherfucker, I'm talking about this shit right here. Jock made you come up there.
Yeah, he did, bro. He
made you
like a dog, bro.
He called you like a dog. And you sat and you kneeled. Heal, boy. Heal.
Dr. Lewis. So the idea, first and foremost, we're saying that the city has a responsibility in economic development.
And with that mic either. I didn't use it multiple times.
Man, let me tell you something.
Nothing wrong with
Mike so much that might need to file charges on him.
One of the biggest things for economic development is site development.
He wants to make sure that he hears you, that you hear him, I guess. He ain't trying to hear it. Listen, Curtis, this is why I said what I said to you, sir. like a good pet. You came when you was called. You were there for that exact reason. I don't know why you got so mad at Mr. McGee. Mr. McGee simply said you were there, and you said, don't put me in it. And here it is. How far are we into this video? We're 15 minutes into this video. He said that in 2 minutes. 10 minutes later, you up there talking about the very thing you asked not to be put in. All because Jock Roy summoned you and told you to sit. Boy.
And site readiness. This agreement that we came across was to help with site readiness for other developers to come into the building and or any private investors to come into the building to develop. If you look at Shreveport,
stop touching that mic, man.
New Orleans, they invest a lot of money, the city, in site development, meaning putting a property that's not in commerce or operation back into use to attract investors.
So let me ask you something. So you're saying that Gator Boards of Shreveport does the same thing? Is that what he's saying?
He's saying that the city involves itself in
But we're not talking about the city. We're talking about Gator.
But he's talking about the city.
Okay.
But either way it goes, why is he even talking? I thought he wasn't in it. Why are you talking?
Because the point he's making.
I'm sorry.
If the point he's making is that other cities put that investment in there, then great. Then Alexandria, if they want to follow suit, can do the same thing.
That's right.
And leave Gators money out of it.
Makes sense.
He's making the inverse of a point. He's making his own counterpoint, but he's counterpunching himself, because what you're saying is that the city, you're making the point for everyone else. If those cities are doing that, there is no other Gator in the state. Let's just say that first. There is no other Gator in the state of Louisiana. So that is it's a false comparison. Also, I'm pretty sure if there was a functioning organization like Gator in these other places, you're talking about New Orleans, I bet you they're not operating under $1 million a year budget. I bet you it's substantially more. But I also bet you they're smart enough not to put all of their money towards projects that don't matter, right?
And private entities.
I get that.
So
get that.
So to say that we're
just disrespectful. Look, Jack, let's just let him talk. He's working it through. Just let him talk. Oh, they all pissed off that man. I ain't gonna throw my glasses. Well played, brother Malcolm. Well played. Anytime you can get, let me take a screenshot of this shit real quick. Yep, I need a screenshot of those faces. Yeah. Capture, save image. Yeah, that's gonna be a title picture one day. I'm gonna pull that up just out of nowhere. Watch.
not, the city's not, that's not their job. That economic development, that is the best practice to make sure the foundation is put together, make sure the building is up to code.
What is he a doctor in?
Mm-hmm. Actually, very broad.
Is he a doctor of buildings and codes? Is he a economic development doctor? Can you get you a doctor in economic development? I guess not.
So developers can come into, we've lost a lot of opportunity because we don't have ready sites.
We lost a lot of opportunities because we don't have ready sites. So what is his profession, and how would he know why we've lost opportunities? Especially when 3 years ago, nobody knew who he was. 4 years ago, people definitely didn't know who he was. Well, I mean, they knew who he was, but it just, it wasn't this. It wasn't this.
That is the city's job, is to
The doctor of thugonomics. Okay, I just got it. It's in the chat.
put property back into commerce. So to say that it's not, I think that does a disservice. I don't think that's the best practice. I'm a business person, so I wouldn't invest in a
He's a business person. Oh, he must be a doctor of business.
business that or a building that's not ready.
Okay.
That's an additional funding. Hold on.
Oh, no, wait.
Oh, guess who's enjoying the shit out of this? Watching two educated black men go at it. Who's enjoying this the most? Wow, that's another screenshot. Hold on. Look at that look on McCaffrey's face. Look at that look.
This is my meeting, though.
But
this is my meeting.
Yeah, he said this is my meeting. See, Malcolm has to put these people got to be put in their place, or else they will run over you. See, he was called up there to do the bidding and to build the bid of Jock, right? He was supposed to be the mouthpiece for the shit that Jock wanted to say, that Jock couldn't say because Jock couldn't say that to Malcolm. All the shit that Curtis is saying, Jock can't say to Malcolm, right? Because Jock wouldn't have an answer for the response. What Jock wanted was an explosive back and forth between the two black people so that the attention would be off from what's really being said.
This is my meeting.
I'm a private citizen now.
But this is my meeting now.
No, that's okay.
This is my meeting now.
You're interfering with a public comment.
No.
I
gotta wait.
Okay.
Wait, you're interfering with a public comment? They do that all the time.
All the time.
Cynthia does it all the time. You thought you was special, didn't you, Curtis? You thought you was above the program, champ.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
Point of order now.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute now.
Private citizen making the comment.
I understand.
You steady talking. You must be up there really trying to impress with you. Jock must have promised you something. Because ain't no way.
Stopping it.
I'm not gonna sit there and fight that hard over something that doesn't matter to me because I am not on the Gator board anymore. So this really doesn't have any consequence to me. I'm not none of the developers that are coming in to bring up the Weiss and Gold Ring building. So this has no consequence for me. So what are you doing up there is the question.
Go ahead.
My question to you is, do you know how much money has been spent already on this building?
Data standpoint?
Yes.
I don't think we paid any. When I was there, we didn't pay anything.
Do you have an idea how much has been
Let's
spent?
talk about it. So the contract, and correct me if I'm wrong, the language in it was that I think that was the concern from the language in the contract. However, a lot of negotiation to correct the language directly with the city was ongoing. So if there was a problem with the pay schedule or how the fees were being brought up, we had negotiations about that. So for example, if it was 1.3, there was no language saying how that was going to be paid. However, the door was open to construct that payment in the best way possible to ensure Gator had cash flow. So we're not paying 1 point whatever upfront. That was going to be stretched over a period of time. There was conversation about the ownership portion. On the other end, okay, when it's done, if it's sold, will Gator take over? Will we get a piece of that? All those were being discussed about the contract. So when it was voted back in 24, the contract was negotiated with the previous attorney. So when we came in 25 and we reread it, there was open dialogue about correcting anything that Gator felt that was incorrect. Pay schedule was one, ownership or operation was the second one. All that was in the works to ensure that the project went forward. And if Gator had the opportunity to own the project or operate the project or get portions of the lease or whatever, all that was being negotiated. So it was going to benefit not just Gator, but the city. When you talk about things like commerce, utilities, construction, lease options, all that. Now I can answer your question or whatever the comments are.
I want to hear from the administration now.
Mr. Layton, just to answer your question, the city submitted request for reimbursement in May of 2025 at our board meeting. We put it on the agenda. One invoice was in the amount of $60,954.85, and the second one was in the amount of $50,000.
That little sigh right there, shit.
$52,573.25.
So about 105,000 and 4,000.
Okay. 111,000.
And the board, it failed, or, it didn't pass.
It didn't pass.
No.
112 plus.
112 plus 1,000. Okay, I was trying to listen. All right. Does the administration wish to talk about this?
Sure.
All right.
We'll take some of the comments in order. Mr. Margon mentioned some things about the newspaper. I talked to Mr. Fowler about it. So in council meetings, if somebody is against something, it's usually that's how the room gets loaded. Most people who are sitting at home and are for things or whatever, the city business goes on, they don't come out. I recall the meeting well. The paper did correctly report that the people who took the mic were against.
Let me say something. Stop it for a second. Let me say this. Let me tell you. He cannot stand, a narcissistic cannot stand for you to say something critical about him, first and foremost. Now, he had to go back and talk about an article. That was a newspaper article that was written by a town talk person who was sitting in that room during that disagreement about them spending money on or taking that as a donation. Why would that even be relevant now? Why would that be relevant now? Why do you have to defend that? Why do you have to feel the need to have to correct what was said? It was a newspaper article.
It was a published article.
It was a published newspaper article. So why are you That's not even relevant. It really isn't for what's going on.
He said basically that, the only time people report on things is when it's controversial. And this shouldn't have been controversial, but it was, right? Most of the people just sit on their ass and the business goes on what the fuck we want to do. Nobody knows the difference.
Yeah.
When everybody gets their tits all tingled, then they want to come up here and complain, and now it's in the newspaper. Typically, these things go by, nobody says anything.
Because that's what he's been able to do so long, is nobody scrutinizing the things that they're doing. That's what it is. I'm sorry. I'm getting like you.
No, get like me. It's okay. Let that hate out your heart. Let it out.
What the paper didn't report, and what is obvious to anybody, was the tons of charrettes and Think Alex meetings that took about a year's worth of time, and all of the different public meetings throughout Spark, which had more inclusion and people from every walk, including council participants.
The thing is, that Spark, all that shit was under his control.
Yep.
All of it. Those meetings weren't open meetings. They were, but it was definitely plants there. I'm sure there were plants there to speak highly of. I think that's a great idea. I think we should do this, because that's what he does. And what he does is he plants the seed. He comes back. He plants the seed, or he plants the person in the audience, like Ranson, or in this case, Curtis, right? Because Curtis was planted in this audience. If y'all don't know that Curtis was a plant in this audience, because Jock Roy knew that this was on the Legal Affairs Committee agenda. He had already chosen his do boy. And his do boy to go against Malcolm was supposed to be Curtis. But Curtis failed, right? So now Jock's having to run all these scramble plays. They're running up the middle. He's running up the side to the left. He's hiding behind linebackers. He's trying to find that. He's looking for a Hail Mary.
The District 1 councilman participated. Everybody was involved, and all these projects were vetted then. These were people's desires to do projects, and it's all well established. I brought all the different ordinances and resolutions that spell out the River Act in detail.
So you started this whole conversation by pretending you didn't know what the ordinance was, but somehow, prestigiously, you have a stack of ordinances related to it. This guy's a goddamn magician.
So what Mr. Markham said is plucking out a truth from and then using it to tell a story or weave a tapestry that's untrue.
Stop it, Tavares. See, this is what he does. See, perfect example. He always does that. He always tries to find something wrong with what someone said because he doesn't like what it's being said about that whole thing. It was a negative aspect of no matter how many, if that room was packed, If it was 1 million people in there, the people who got up there and spoke were in disagreement with them donating that building to the city where they pay the rate, where they pay the taxes on. You understand what I'm saying? You know?
Mm-mm. Oh, I clicked the wrong button.
Secondly, the city's role in development, I heard another comment made that it's not the city's role or GATA's role to develop. That's insanity. It is GATA's role to develop. Am I going to talk? You're going to talk for me. If you don't, if you.
Bitch. Ooh, I would have swung on him. I would have had to pay that $2,000 fine. I would have had to stay the night in the jail. It just would have been what it was. I would have swung on him.
He mad.
I would have swung on him. I'm talking about I would have dialed back all the way from what 337. That's another area code, and I would have swung all the way back from the 337. He would have felt that shit in the 318.
That's Lafayette.
Okay. What's the 254? That's another one. Either way it goes, he would have felt me that night.
If you want it that way, we won't say anything. We'll do a briefing and show the public the truth. Okay. All right. So.
He upset.
That man is so sassy, like for real, like sassy.
Always upset. He's emotional. He's an emotional leader, and you can't have an emotional leader. You have to have somebody that's resolute, that can handle pressure, that can come up with solutions. Not somebody that's going to lie on the spot, right? That's not
you
really.
need to have a hysterectomy.
Right. You know, thinking on your toes doesn't include having a lie on the spot. You don't have to lie. You know, that's not how that works.
So it is 100% GATA's role to develop, and it is also a city's role to engage in economic development. These things are spelled out in the state constitution and in statute. Here's GATA's actual stated public purpose. The district is created for the purpose of cooperative economic development between the city of Alexandria and the district. No, just those two. Next, the district shall have as its purpose cooperative economic development between the city of Alexandria and the district. It repeats it in the next sentence. In order to provide for the renovation, restoration, and development of property in the city and the district, and to pay the cost of the capital improvements relating thereto. So GATA's purpose was created for the city. The mayor doesn't have any say in GATA. GATA is a creature of the council.
The mayor doesn't have any say in GATA, right? But you brought up C. Ray Lewis to speak.
Determines who's on it. There's no mayoral participation in that. Our participation comes in the form of working together on that cooperative.
He wanted to say sending them invoices. That's what he wanted to say. Our obligation is to make sure we get them invoices in.
Engagement. And the idea that GATA is not for that purpose is crazy. It's also crazy the city isn't for that purpose. Here are some of the city's dalliances, if you will, into cooperative economic development downtown. One, the hotel that is now a Green Flag Holiday Inn was a city project that put it into commerce in the private sector when it was debilitated almost to nothing by its ownership at the time.
What was the return on investment on that? Anybody know?
It was free.
Can anybody tell me how much the city of Alexandria made off of that investment?
Mr. Porter, are you very familiar with that situation?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it. And I've shared that before, if some folks that might have been on the show a while back. But that building, we had a group of Black businessmen, investors out of New Orleans who came and put a bid in on the Holiday Inn building. Jack Roy, well, the city council, Roosevelt Johnson was president. They gave the mayor the authority to negotiate all matters related to that building. They just turned everything over to him. So he gave the building, he accepted the bid from a group who one of them is a blood relative of Jock Roy, and they got that building for $1 million. The city put the building was valued at $7 million. The city probably put about $3 million in, removing asbestos, removing fiberglass, removing lead pipe, upgrading the wiring, the electrical wiring, repairing the roof, and getting rid of lead paint and repairing the elevators. Okay, upgrading the elevators. They did all of that, and then this group came in and he accepted their bid, and a group from New Orleans, which was black men, so you know they were not going to do any business with these guys, right? And their bid was higher, and they rejected the bid. Now, those guys had contacted me, and they were actually going to take the city of Alexandria to court. It would have gone to the 9th Judicial District Courts here in Rapides Parish. And we all know how that is, right? So they just decided to purchase a hotel in Jackson, Mississippi. And that's what they're doing there, or that's what they decided to do. And that actually turned out as a better situation for them. That was Jackson's a much larger city. To get more conferences and things that come through there. So, but I think the city spent about $3 million making all those upgrades and repairs to that. So how much we made off it? Nothing. We lost money on that.
To say that a black man will get treated better in Jackson, Mississippi than he would in Alexandria, Louisiana.
The CLTCC campus located downtown started with a city participation in locating property, battling to get it here instead of co-located out at the campus. The new LSUA project, all of those were there.
Okay,
The public purpose.
My question is the gate, the Weiss and Gold Ring building. Why?
So the public purpose.
What's the goal of the Weiss and Gold Ring building?
The public purpose is for GATA is to engage in any cooperation under that statutory public purpose. You don't have to have an extra public purpose. Demolition is a proper public use of money. After all, Mr. Lawverdane, you constantly talk about demolishing houses. The city doesn't get a direct.
But we're not talking about demolishing the Weiss and Gold Ring building, are we?
No. Okay, so Tavar, so let's think about this. Let's talk about the demolition. It was Mr. Fuller them, because you got to remember, Mr. Porter, you can back me up on this. They weren't investing money in demolition on those buildings. It wasn't enough money in there to do buildings, a lot of those houses. It was Mr. Fuller them who convinced them to add more money to the budget in order to do the demolitions, because they weren't even doing those. He didn't want to put money into it, into the to add more money into the demolition budget to tear down more houses. Am I right, Mr. Porter?
That's correct. They were only using the money that came in from HUD for demolition. And it was Joe Fuller who, during that first budget process in 2019, when I was on, that was my first budget process. Joe Fuller was the one added $400,000 to that budget. And you see, those are the things that the current city council don't understand that they can do. It was Joe Fuller said, we're going to add this money, because the money that came from HUD, you had a lot of restrictions on how you could use it and what you can do with it. When we take our own taxpayer money and put it in there, we decide what the eligible uses of the money is. And the things that they're taking credit for, how many homes we're demolishing a year, 75 or so, that's thanks to Joe Fuller and Jules Green, myself, and Ed Loverdane for making that change and putting that money in the budget like that. That's what allows us to do that.
So I remember the story about John getting in a little trouble for misusing HUD funds. Am I remembering that correctly or what? Because I kind of remember it and I kind of don't. I don't want to make any.
That's right. There were some HUD funds that the city had received, and this was several years prior. Okay, and they did not follow the eligible uses of that fund. And at the time, Charles Johnson was city attorney, and he wrote a letter, a legal decision of his interpretation of what the federal law was, and that the city of Alexandria could use the money for this particular thing. I think they used it to do something with sidewalks or something. I forget what they actually used it for. They did something downtown, and I think it was sidewalks. Well, that was not an eligible use of the funds. So after an audit, the federal government said, you have to pay us back that money plus interest. And so one of the first things I had to vote on when I was in office was approving, city council had to approve the money to pay back the federal government. And that was about $450,000.
So it would seem as if remember that allegation that Jock threw towards Jeff Hall about malfeasance in office and mismanaging money. It would seem as though that was an accusation that was really just a confession. He was projecting, if you will. Now, and the other thing is, when Jock did that, nobody highlighted that. Nobody highlighted that. Jeff didn't come across and say, because I believe Jeff was in office then. Jeff didn't come out and say, hey, Jock put us in the hole. We had to bill ourselves out $500,000 back to the federal government. For misusing HUD money. Right? And if it were me and I found that out, I would have been plastering it all over the place. But, they were buddies, so they didn't go like that. But
rat dollar back for that. The city gets, you may not like my answer, but I'm going to give it. The city gets value.
Yep. I would have wrote the $2,000 check right then and there. I would have cashed up the $2,000 to my mama right then and there. Yeah, I'm going to jail tonight. I'm going to go to jail tonight.
Oh, you not house for house when it's that water bottle and threw it at him.
That still would have been assault.
I don't care.
People's assault.
It's the closest thing to me. I would have been, what you say?
It would have been a knock up your butt moment. We would have been on.
We lose money. We go out and probably will never get that money back. But we do it on the bet and with the vision that if we clear out enough areas, as Gary has pointed out.
So Mr. Porter, to your point, he says sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, but at least we play. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's exactly what he's saying. And he doesn't have no problem with saying it.
I don't mind playing with your money, And just like with these utilities, you guys think we're winning with these utilities? It's a losing bet. Man, we are under our waters in this thing. But you know what? Sometimes you win. Sometimes it ain't my money. You know what I mean?
If we do it in clusters and bundles, that we will open areas for development. We don't get a dollar for dollar back.
Hey, you know how you save money on demolition? You know how you can move a certain address up the list without actually having to do anything? I'm gonna give everybody a chance to answer that. I'm just to answer. Y'all don't have to have the right answer, but just an answer. We'll start with Miss Alita. How do you think is the easiest way to move a certain building that's up for demolition? How do you move it up the list to be demolished?
You burn it.
All right, you burn it. That's one answer. Mr. Porter, would you like to answer? I can skip if you like.
That's right. That brings it to the top of the list. If it catches fire and fire inspector says it's it's a hazard in the event that it might crumble, or if a storm came, then those are the ones that go to the top of the list.
Okay, Miss Shambam, what do you think?
They like to use the word deplorable, so I'll say deplorable condition.
All right, what can you be more precise with that? Deplorable meaning what?
The building got to be effed up.
That's wait, no, because the list comes out every year. What can move a house up the list? Because they do it in order. And
I know what they said. I didn't want to say the same thing that they said.
yeah, you
It just has to be in poor condition. Period.
Couple right answers. You know, only a few right answers. So remember when Reddix Washington was the city councilman for District 1 and all those houses kept on catching on? Never mind. Remember when he tried to move back he tried to kind of dial back some of the rules and regulations on the houses in there? Never mind. Hey, you remember when he left office, all of him and his homeboys were all of a sudden in real estate? Never mind.
We do it in the hope that development will occur.
What's the plan for the Weiss and Goring building? Is there a plan?
100%. But first we're going to, just like there was a bunch of.
No, you see what I'm saying? Answer the question. What's the plan?
Outline of a story here, we're going to show why we engage in demolition. Gaeta, years ago, engaged in a demolition of the Cavalier.
Mayor.
Ms. Lawbert, I'll do this at my briefing. I'm not going to be interrupted.
I'm not going to be interrupted. I will do this in a closed meeting session where nothing I'm saying is actually official, but everything I'm saying is actually emotional.
But what Malcolm is trying to get him to do is stay on track. He's not talking about all this extra stuff. And that's what Malcolm is he's not answering his questions. That's why Malcolm keeps trying to tell him, you're not answering my questions.
If you're going to interrupt me, I can just do this shit on my own.
It's not germane.
Exactly.
Forever. I think we broke them out of saying that. Oh, wrong screen.
I'll invite everybody back to hear it where I'm not interrupted. If I don't, as the mayor of the city, who's elected at large, if I don't have the right or ability in this body to give an answer to a very serious thing, which is
you're not giving the answer, sir. That's what he's telling you. You're not giving the answer to his question. And you have an issue with that, which is fine. But just say you have an issue with your non-answer. Look, I'm trying to bullshit you, man. If you're going to not let me bullshit you, then I can just fucking leave. How about that? I don't got to be here. This is just a legal affairs committee. This is for you chumps outside. I ain't doing this.
your attempt to undo an ordinance that already a contract that's valid and was unanimously voted for by Gaeta was signed, and I might add, as a lawyer, was detrimentally relied on because the public purpose which is approved, and which is not a gratuitous donation by any stretch. Is it a gratuitous donation?
I guess
Mr. Kiss, is it a gratuitous donation?
I guess
there's.
What a shame. Jonathan Goins, you are a do-boy. What does he have on you that all he has to do is yank your chain and you'll agree? You got 3 lawyers up there sitting there lying, knowing they lying.
I mean, nobody told Jonathan to apply for the job either.
You know what? I think he did make him come back. I ain't gonna lie. He made him come back. He needed a black person on his left, and he needed a black person on his right, because he completely planned on screwing everybody over. Because guess what? When he gets in a pickle with black folks, never mind.
too large.
But what's the plan? What is the plan for the
To make the building ready for development, as the former chairman just very eloquently outlined, which is a public purpose.
He got his kudos. You know what? I'm not going to hold y'all. Yeah, this was my point. Right? Because C. Ray Lewis was doing all this for a pat on the head. Right? All this for a pat on the head. And since Curtis feels like he's ready for the big leagues, we're going to put him to the test. Yeah, Jim. It's your turn. Are you ready? Right? Ms. Angie Bernardo got on that microphone at the city council meeting and lied and said I did not circle back with her. Because this was 2 weeks after this, right? They were doing the update and she said that he did not circle back with her. Her exact words. So he goes on this one-sided tirade, right? You're supposed to be this super important person. You can't even get more than 2 comments, and you can't get more than 6 reactions, right? Which is simply not true. Not only is it not true, she responded back to me through a public email. Crazy how people like to pick and choose what information they state and what information they withdraw or withhold. And this is who y'all are trying to protect? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, take that black lady down. She called me a liar, even though I am one. But yeah, let's all rally around the idea that poor Curtis can't defend himself from a lie. That's not a lie. She was telling the truth, Curtis. But this is my type game to play. Oh, is it? Game of wolves out here. The big bad wolf. Let's play it. So let me show you something. Now, this is the other thing, right? Because who all did Jock have a problem with at that meeting? We were just watching. Was Jock and Malcolm having an exchange where Jock was going to damn near jump across the table and tell Malcolm to shut the fuck up and let me finish talking. So instead of doing that, this is what Lewis did. If you decide to speak on me tonight, make sure it's all facts, sir. Thank you for your attention. And my cousin Punky said, what we're not going to do is bring this to the internet with Malcolm. You goddamn right. As long as he states facts as it regards to me, I have no problem. Ooh. Oh, shit. I didn't know this happened. You should have went and seen it for yourself. Or asked the mayor. He said, how do you know I was not there and seen it for myself? Because I have eyes everywhere. Wasn't y'all supposed to meet? Did you show up? The mayor was in Baton Rouge asking for more money, and you're not even supposed to be in the city meetings. You're not a contracted employee or a city employee. Now have a blessed night, Bookie Butt. He said, show me the policy that supports this comment. Damn. Somebody called it. Oh, let me go back in here. Hold on. Hey, cousin. Hold on. Hey, cousin. That's how petty I am. I got time. I promise you. If we don't have time, we'll make time. And now, on the bigger and better things. Right? So, what is he doing here? Stop by Forever Fitness to talk all things Reignite and receive feedback from those who are making local investments in Alexandria. All things Reignite? All things Reignite? Who do you work for? You feel me? Beautiful family, by the way. It just sucks that you're a sellout. It really does.
What's going on,
it sucks that you turned out to be who you are, sir. And I'm not taking a jab at you, but I got to find this post. I mean, people need to know these things, right? Because the first thing I told you is that I also run a platform, and I want the most accurate information. I don't want to dwell in conjecture. I want to be factual. So I made a formal public request to the Greater Alexandria Economic Development Authority for any and all recent unedited and unaltered email exchanges between I and the executive director. The purpose is to verify the accuracy and context of a recent statement the executive director made on record at the 21st April Legal Affairs Committee. This is the show that we're watching now. By the way, a meeting that was attempted to be held with just 1 day's notice. Oh, wait. In the statement, the executive director stated, Curtis, never responded or followed up to a request to meet regarding projects between Gator and the city. There is your first problem. See, you're not an agent of the city. So if you would have showed up to the meeting, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. You're arguing a non-point. Literally. By the way, a meeting that was attempted to be held on just 1 day's notice. The facts. What Ms. Bernardo intentionally did not state on the record during the Legal Affairs Committee is that I provided a vetted multi-project working proposal as an alternative to the Weiss and Goldring project to review prior to the meeting. No, what he's saying is, Jock gave me this paper to give y'all, but he didn't want to show up, so it was me. And I came to argue on his behalf that these are good projects. And who vetted them? You talking about they vetted them? Who vetted them? In which I called 13 people to get their feedback on. Who's the 13 people? The 13 bloodlines? What do you fucking call it, Illuminati? I requested from Gator any proposals or informationals on potential projects of interest in which Gator had no written proposal or information, but was still in the brainstorming phase and wanted to discuss the ideas. First off, they didn't owe you anything. So you getting mad about them not providing you something you're not even owed. You sound entitled, is what you sound like. A 1 day's notice is not enough time to put together a meeting of this level, so I provided several availabilities to include right up to the start of the Legal Affairs Committee. And we see some other exchanges. Well, I don't know what that means. Well, I have these emails myself. A public records request will make this post valid and reliable. Because other than that, it's full of shit, right? And I do not like liars and those who attempt to deceive by omitting critical details. And the ED of Gator is on record for providing misleading information. After all that I did for you, very disappointing. This is the big leagues, man. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Have a great day. So we got some straightening to do, right? We got some
a little bit of straightening.
We got some straightening to do. I said, and this is me, in case you guys don't know, I'm the guy with the try me button. Try me. Or you could have just posted the email yourself. Why go through the trouble of a request when you have the alleged information already? If this was the big leagues, your boss would have addressed this and not you. I'm just saying. He said, I consulted with my boss and gave myself permission to handle it the way I see fit, but she still lied. That's a dumbass fucking, you haven't been in a lot of verbal altercations in your life. I said, well, I'm under the assumption that you work for Jock, seeing as how he made you get up and address an issue you had already stated you didn't want any involvement by saying, don't put me in that. That's exactly what we're talking about tonight. In a matter of minutes, you were summoned to be put in that. So obviously, that wasn't a spontaneous change of heart. It was so ordered. So he goes and tags Malcolm. And then he goes on this whole thing all over again. Dr. Lewis never followed up. Dr. Lewis responds to Curtis, with response to an attempt to hold a critical meeting with just 1 day's notice on the 17th April 2026. Mind you, the city council meeting isn't until the 21st. Omitting all information, especially in an attempt to paint a negative picture of me, someone who protected you. You know, when y'all send that stuff, it's come up on the right? Stop sending stuff in the chat. I got it. So, additional fact, Ms. Bernardo replied all to this email regarding not being available for any of my suggested times and that you all wanted to meet with someone else during the business hours. And they're entitled to that. Not sure how 3:30 is not considered business hours, but not my place to determine that. Stop this lying, y'all, and stop lying on me, because there is nothing I'm not prepared to say or do to protect my brand. Nothing. Thank you for this attention to this matter. Have a great day. And he shows this doctored ass screenshot with no CCs, no timestamps, no nothing. It says 17, 2026. But come on. You didn't even, what was the point of posting this? You could have saved this. You could have just actually, you know how this works. Making assumptions is lazy work, and addressing those who address me is a part of my job. Now, the reason he said that is because I said it's easy to assume that you work for the mayor. And you're going to tell me I do lazy work? I said, well, since assumptions are lazy work, clear the air and correct me, oh fearless leader. That way you won't just educate me on the matter, you can also address it for the people that think you're a sellout as well. And then you got a shout out KS as of yesterday. I wish they would stop. As of yesterday, the council meeting, the motion passed to release Gator from the chains of the city of Alexandria. We are expecting the mayor to veto it, which wouldn't be in his best interest considering he's up for re-election. The communication issue that appears to have happened resulted in this outcome. No one from the administration met with Gator, period. Ms. Renata nor Gator got online to press the issue. It was all handled in person. And he says, did Ms. Bernardo provide the actual accurate information at yesterday's meeting? Why? I thought you were there, right? You talked all that shit to my cousin and you really weren't there. Did she not get on the microphone and publicly report a meeting and said I never responded back to her? No, she said that you did not circle back to her. There's a difference. That means that you had an initial engagement and that there was supposed to be some additional some additional parts to that initial engagement. But at the end of the day, the facts is and will be, she flat out lied on me when she sat there and responded back to me in writing to a public email. Ms. Bernardo stated that she reached out to you and you said you would circle back. That doesn't mean you didn't communicate. She never said you didn't attempt to schedule a meeting with her. The other times they wanted to meet didn't work for them as well. So no one ended up meeting in those 2 weeks, which was detrimental to this resolution. She actually said, I never reached back out, which is not true. I wouldn't post this if she didn't. She said never. Would it have been better to talk with her personally about this issue? I don't see many political figures balloting out on social media. We can't get anywhere with this. I am not a political figure. And of course you don't get far when people lie about you in public. Hold the folks that are actually in the wrong accountable, not me. That's the problem. How do you try to square this up? The fact is, Ms. Bernardo lied and attempted to paint this false narrative by withholding key information. I'm going to war behind this brand I have built over the past 15 years, and nothing will stand in the way of that. That's how I envision he reads in real life. That's how I felt. That's how I felt as he was writing it. As he laid across the bed on his belly with his feet up in the air. That's how I feel like he wrote that. I said, C. Ray Lewis, just curious. I tried to look into some of the activities that surrounding the situation, and I couldn't help but notice your said departure and how it seemed to be strategically tied to Jock Roy's various election time campaign season shenanigans, like Reignite. And I then noticed the correlation between your actions during the previous city council meeting when Chairman Steve McGee made reference to a vote you participated in, and your direct response was, "Don't put me in it." Only to later have Jock Roy make you speak on the matter, which is why I said what I said. So is it safe to say that your brand can be purchased and you can be put into it if the right person asks you to do so? Because at this point, not only are you in it, you are now the pseudo mouthpiece of the Roy regime on this matter, which also brings up another conflicting narrative because the mayor doesn't have to honor anything you and Ms. Bernardo discuss. As far as I know, there are rules in place that prevent you from being any kind of authorized personnel who is able to speak on or do business on behalf of the city of Alexandria. I take a personal interest in this matter because I too have a platform, hi guys, where we inform the public on the happenings of the city. And if you were a new arm of the Roy administration, I value being precise in my approximations. Thank you for your attention to this matter, as the conclusion could be reasonably drawn that you are doing Jock Roy's dirty work against Black people that Jock equates to as a foe, sees as an enemy or an obstacle. As he vehemently stated, it's not Gator's money, it's my money. As you said, this is the big leagues. And if you haven't been placed under public scrutiny before, your actions in this matter have certainly highlighted some inconsistencies. The best leader is a transparent one. And do you know, he chose not to respond. I wouldn't either. Curtis. I would leave that shit right where it's at. Because apparently, you're not who you say you are. Apparently, you have an issue with people pointing out how you look in the public eye. And you want to maintain this fake air of what you want people to think of you. In reality, you look like the total opposite, Curtis. I would tell you to do better, but you wouldn't listen to me because my name's not Jock Roy. So there's no need for me to say do better. You're not capable of it, at least not from anybody like me that's easily pointing out the inconsistencies. That's all. You can't get mad because people notice inconsistencies. How'd you go from not being in it to having a whole conversation? How'd you go from not being in it to this? Hold on. You went from not being in it to this.
To the building to develop. If you look at Shreveport, New Orleans, they invest a lot of money, the city, in site development, meaning putting a property that's not in commerce or operation.
You went from not being in it to knowing everything about it in less than 7 minutes. Give me a break, bro. Give me a break. Like I said, you're gonna have to wear that. You're gonna have to wear it like an albatross, as my good friend Mr. Porter likes to say. You're gonna have to wear it like an albatross, champ.
Yeah, you got a scarlet letter now.
Now you got your scarlet letter. I hope it was worth it.
What he said about New Orleans is not true. I'm not that familiar with. I'm not that familiar with Shreveport, but New Orleans has economic development associations. One is regional, one is multi-parish, and one is strictly for the city of New Orleans. Those are the ones that take care of that. New Orleans don't put money into these buildings. They assemble different organizations as well as private investors and get them to do it. So what he is saying is not true about New Orleans. Now Shreveport, I don't know. I've never looked into how they handle buildings like that.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Let me see if I can skip ahead through some of this. All right.
But Mayor, we're the stewards of the people's money, though. This council.
We are, and so Gator stiffened the citizens on its bill as a.
Oh no! He said Gator is stiffing the citizens on a bill. Oh no! So the money doesn't belong to Gator anymore; it belongs to the citizens. I'm confused. I'm totally confused.
Steward, we're going to get to the bottom of that.
Why do we want Gator's money?
Because Gator's money is for the use of the city in development. As I just read, it's not Gator's money. It's my money. And you're.
You know what, folks? that must have been your favorite part. You came back. What's going on? We'll run that back? Oh, okay, I got it.
Because you can't do that. As you know, we've taken an action in reliance on it in good faith based on a statute that says Gator was designed for that purpose. So that leaves us in this position of why is this ordinance, why even do this way?
But Mayor, we're the stewards of the people's money, though. Is this council?
We are, and so Gator stiffened the citizens on its bill. As a steward, we're going to get to the bottom of that.
Why do we want Gator's money?
Because Gator's money is for the use of the city in development. As I just read, it's not Gator's money. It's my money and your money and his money and his money and her money. It's my money as a taxpayer. But guess what? It didn't get generated by a property tax here. That's the beauty of it. It got generated, some by people staying in hotels here. They can live here. Mardi Gras balls, people live here, stay in a hotel that night. But mostly it's generated by, if we're doing our job, out-of-town people. And that out-of-town money comes into Gator for the sole purpose of aiding the city in development for the city. And so if
Mr. Porter.
I encourage everybody to read the statute, and he has that wrong. The Gator was commissioned to do economic development for inside the city of Alexandria, not the projects that the mayor cite, and they're not a subsidiary of the city of Alexandria. They are a separate entity. They have their own separate taxing authority, which is what Jack Roy does not like. And they have the right to decide how that money is used. Now, if they're not doing what the statute states, economic development inside the city of Alexandria, then they are in violation of the statute. But as long as they're doing that, they don't have to do the projects that Jack Roy tell them, you need to put your money towards this project, or I'm taking your money to put it towards this project. They're a separate entity, and they're not a subsidiary of the city of Alexandria.
Is that what is that the? It sounds like that he thinks that they're a subsidiary. That's the way he's explaining it. It sounds like that Gator belongs to the city of Alexandria.
Exactly. That's his interpretation of that. That is not what the statute states.
If
Now,
Gator, for example,
Gator can cooperate with the city. They can partner with the city, or they could partner with the parish or the state, or they could partner with a private entity. So they are not joined by the hip to the city of Alexandria municipal government.
I do have. Let me go some more.
has a bunch of the money it uses, it'll have a group come in and it'll say, we're going to give you money to come. We're going to pay for meals. and we're going to offset room costs and all that. I'd ask you what's more gratuitous. The offsetting of the very thing you want to bring people to do, which is increase taxes, or a project that would demolish a dangerous building or part of it and get it ready for development when you know if you took that cost off of people, as Dr. Lewis said, you would then have a gap brought down where someone in the private sector would say, now I don't have to pay for the asbestos abatement. Now I don't have to pay for all the other stuff.
Well, you don't say now I don't have to pay for it. They're used to paying for it. It's a part of doing business. It's a part of doing, it's the cost of doing business, like in the literal sense.
That's right. That's right. So a company have to decide whether or not it's worth it, and if it's not worth it, then forget about it. But now keep in mind, this building was slated for demolition, right?
In the beginning.
This Wise and Goldring building was slated for demolition. And now he wants to go in and spend all the taxpayer money to upgrade it so that he can pass it off to his good old boys. This is the same old hookup that they did with the Holiday Inn. Same thing. And he's talking about taxpayers' money. Lord, the taxpayer went in a hole with Holiday Inn. And now he wants to do the same thing here. And by the way, he did the same thing with the incubation building. So he's just keep running the same play on the citizens time after time after time.
Do you think he didn't expect to get dressed about it this time?
Oh, I know he felt that this was going to sail right through because he was counting on the city council not really knowing what's going on, and that's where Malcolm and Jules, put up the roadblocks.
Gotta keep it straight. Gotta keep it straight.
It's ready to go. Cities do that every day, and many of you have asked us to look at those very projects every day, and you on Gator are charged with doing that. I spent 2 years getting my economic development certification, so I know.
Yeah. I spent a couple of years getting my economic development certification.
But that's all we talked about was how to gap finance and how to incent people to develop. And a major part of that is demolishing, weeding the garden of things that get in the way of development. This project seems more like it's snake bitten because no one can simply get along about it, or maybe they didn't like Harry Silver in one case. Well, I don't know.
No, I don't think that's.
Oh, so this isn't about the building. This is about Harry Silver now. Is he just going around red herrings? He's just saying things.
Look, it was always about Harry Silver. Harry Silver didn't want to demolish the building. He didn't want to bring it up to code. And the person that was going to buy the building from Harry Silver didn't want to spend the money to bring it up to code. So what Harry Silver did, he avoided the demolition cost by donating it to the city. Jack Roy never should have accepted that building. And so we're in this situation because of a decision he made and because it was a good old boy hookup is what it was.
So if he ever came clean about this, he would have to admit that he involves himself in good old boy hookups. That would be a part of his admission, is that, yeah, I do these bad deals, these bad faith deals with these people. And yeah, we collect a little bit of money off the top. You're right, Ms. Dixon. He always tells on himself, you just got to let him talk. You see how he keeps deferring over to Curtis? Because Curtis was tasked with, what Brother McGee did inadvertently, he brought attention to the fact that C. Ray Lewis was there before his time. Like he queued him up before he was supposed to be his time. That's why he didn't want nothing to do with it. It wasn't that's not what he was there to do. He was there to speak when Jock told him to speak. So when Brother McGee brought him up, he was like, hey, yo, D, this guy was there. Don't put me in it. All right.
I guess my concern is, I voted for us to allocate $300,000 to tear down the garage. And you told us that the garage was in bad shape and it was a hazard. I get that part.
We haven't done that yet.
But I voted for that because, I agree with you. I believe you. If you tell the garage is a hazard, it's a hazard, and let's remove it. My concern is, once we spend $300,000, why do we need to put any more money into it?
No one's asking, Malcolm, you're creating a straw man argument that doesn't exist, and I get why. I know why.
What's the why? What would be his why?
I've been listening to this now for years. I came back in office only with the desire to work with Gator. Met with Mr. Moeller, had a wonderful conversation. He wanted something back. He wanted Gator back in housing. And he knew that had been controversial and not everybody was for it. He said, will you give me your word? You'll help me do that again. I said, yeah.
Hey, what's the wages of lying on somebody that's no longer on earth?
Oh, no.
Like, you're literally sitting in the room with people that were very close to him. And instead of telling the truth about something, and if your version of in-house Gator is putting them at a community center where kids are outside playing out of basketball, or there's like some foosball game going on in the back, because that's what I think of with a community center. It's out doing things for, it's, just no type of respect is what I'm.
Yes. He wanted to reform the giving of money to organizations. He wanted a new way to do it. I said,
he said he wanted to reform the way of giving money to organizations. So he just wanted to stop giving money out to the organization.
Yeah, because they were not getting a return on the money. Look, Gator gets their money from hotel motel tax. Okay. If you give an organization more money than the number of rooms they utilize and the tax you get from the rooms they're utilizing, then that's a net loss. You didn't even break even, So if you're going to do that, you give them less money than what you're going to make so that you make what you gave them back plus a little extra.
A little bit of something on top.
And that's not what Gator had been doing all those times.
we both can use that. We can figure out which is the city community services, which is you, and how to do that better. I wrote down exactly what he said. But let me tell you what he was also for. He was for building out Masonic. And we talked about Masonic versus Weiss's. Clifford and I didn't care which and how we did it. We wanted to partner on one. I wouldn't have cared if Gator would have said it, and I openly said it. Look, we just don't want to be in the Weiss's deal. We'll do this. But the Weiss's deal under Jeff's crew did call for help from a special purpose entity or an S.
Like ACID? Nobody remembers ACID? Right? But instead of letting ACID grow or be what it was supposed to be, Jock, Deborah, all those people that I showed you in that picture with the Central Louisiana Chambers of Commerce all went down there to lobby against ACID, the Alexandria, what was it? Alexandria, something community economic development. That's what ACID was for. ACID was kind of like Gator, another taxing authority. But Jock and Deborah and what was that other lady's name? I can't just what's the name of it? Mama know it. But they all went down to Baton Rouge, just like they just recently did, to speak on behalf of dismantling ACID. And it worked because it did. They did. They said they already had a taxing authority, and it was Gator. They didn't need another. They didn't need another.
SPE or a Gator, an entity designed to send money into a project. It called for that, and that's normal. So it made total sense to do it this way, and it still makes total sense. The idea would be you'd have housing, and you'd have commercial on bottom, housing on top.
So he has the concept of a plan, is what you're saying.
But yet he poo-pooed all over Malcolm's plan to do affordable housing in Alexandria. And now he's saying he had a conversation with Clifford Moeller, say, yeah, let's do housing. Housing on top, commercial on the bottom.
Damn. That's cold. Rest in peace, Mr. Moeller. I know you didn't say none of this shit, and I know this man up here lying on you, but we gonna get justice for Clifford Moeller.
Commercial on bottom, housing on top. Our idea was let Gata move into the redo. We'll redo the bottom, and Gata can literally be the anchor of a project.
So now we went from demolishing it to actually going inside of it and rebuilding it on the taxpayers' dime. You got to pick a struggle, John.
Or much like it ended up doing buying this other project where it can be the anchor.
I thought we had an incubator. Wouldn't it have been better to move Gata into an incubator?
Well, Gata wanted to purchase the incubator, and Jack Roy would not even consider it.
Oh, man. Where's the incubator? What's the status of the incubator right now?
Oh, it's shut down. Jack Roy is the one who shut it down.
Champ.
And
in a building with other
mother was over the incubator. Johnny Vornado was over the incubator. Jack Roy shut it down.
So Jack Roy has this long-standing beef, basically. Yeah. All right.
Things. That was our idea. We didn't have to have that, Mr. Lawverdane. Those are ideas and how development occurs. But this false idea that's being thrown out in political season by political.
Yo, wait a minute. Is he leaning up? Did he lean up? This motherfucker shaking the table.
Political operatives for political candidates. This is what.
Okay, so who is he talking about?
I don't know. Why do concerned citizens have to be political operatives?
So the political season, political operatives throwing it out for political candidates. What candidates? Who are the operatives?
He got PTSD or something.
He's scared himself? You think he's scared himself?
Yeah, he's schizo.
So all the people that came up and speak,
everybody, including Steve McGee.
They were political operatives for political candidates. Which candidates are they from? Are they for? And who are the candidates?
It's not even time to now. It's not even qualifications. Y'all did something to that man. Y'all gave that man PTSD. He had flashbacks. Something happened to him. It must have been the campaign before last. Y'all did something to him because he had flashbacks. He got the flinching and some more shit.
Silliness comes in this room for, right?
Yeah, right. Because if they're black and they're speaking out on behalf of something that you're against, obviously it's silly, right? Just tell us you're a racist without saying you're a racist. You know what I mean? You got black Du Bois. You're surrounded by black Du Bois. I mean, come on. You're your own source material. Like you're your own fact checker. Like, come on, bro.
The idea that developments occur where you have a set deal and then a set response. If we give this, we know that there'll be a deal tomorrow. That's not true. We have deals fall through all the time. We have deals fall.
We have deals. We make bad deals all the time. We make bad deals all the time, folks.
Fall through at the LED level every day, but we keep chasing the deals. There's no risk to the public.
We keep on spending the money to do it.
Public here because the building was donated and still we have less public money in it than the donation. We can still go sell it if that's what you want to do. So you'll note I took it out of your priority one budget because I can tell the council doesn't have much stomach for what should be a good project. Should be the last building down here in this area that we ought to really be focused on doing something with. And so that's what our response is. Proper purpose publicly, non-gratuitous donation, because we get something for it. You have a building ready for development. It adds tax dollars, property and sales tax. If people are living in that building, no one lives downtown right now, right? If people,
What's the soonest you think that we can start getting a return on that investment?
No, we're not going to get a return on that investment. You're just not. Now, didn't Steve McGee say the last appraisal on that building was $400-something thousand?
Yeah.
Why would you spend $1.25 million on something that's worth $400,000?
You're
You'll
actually
never get your money back.
3 times this amount that is what it's worth.
Yeah, you'll never get your money back.
But it's with Gator's money, so it doesn't really matter to him.
That's right.
people are living in that building, what does that create the need for next? With the
facilities,
things follow where people live.
All right, Mr.
Yeah.
Restaurants, other retail, a grocery, all of those things come. I see Mr. Wilhelm's in here. I know that DARE for years talked about the need for a mixed use building. Mixed use would be the perfect thing for that building. But you have to get there. But yes, there's a published plan. It's been published on. It's,
Why
you can
so
go see it
damn
anytime.
mad? That's what I want to know. I don't like all this hostility.
And look, and if you had a plan, produce it. There's a published plan. That's the third time he referred to the plan without producing it, and he still can't tell you what are the parts of that plan.
Yeah.
The problem is, you've got to go look at the plan.
Mr. Porter, there's your answer.
And where is the plan?
I have it right here.
Oh, there it is. How come?
And why is he the only one that have it, Mr. Porter?
There you go. You took the words out of my mouth. Right there.
But you're going to cut me off when I take you through how detailed it is, because there's going to be.
I want to cut you off anyway. I just don't. It's just every time you say something, it just seems like you're lying.
Some folks that resent how detailed the plan is. They shouldn't, but they.
He said there's some people that they're mad at how detailed this is. They resent me for being this detailed. I should have been more vague, but I was too specific.
But I can take.
What? Oh, the plan is in his head. Summer Breeze said the plan is in his head.
You through the plan. The plan is designed to never let us build the bridge to nowhere. Our money goes in only at the level behind the private dollar. So we never get ahead and do that, which I've done with every public project I've ever done, Mr. Lawberdane, and I have the record to back it up. Why would I change on this one?
All right. If I may, I think I have some insight that I got while Mayor Roy was talking. When the Central Louisiana Economic Development Group was established many moons ago, I was a part of that with Johnny Bernardo, with Lawson, June Rax. We all was a part of that when that started. And with that was supposed to be coming.
Oh, she's talking about Cleta.
Yes, right.
Yes.
Gator to use for funding for the community, especially in our blighted areas, to help in those community areas. And I think that the problem that we have in the community with the back and forth, is that we're not seeing enough improvements in the community area with the funding that we knew from the beginning was to be used to help in the community area of most need. I think that's where the back and the forth is coming from. And I just had that insight I wanted to share.
Thank you. I just want you to know I agree with what Ms. Kristoff just said. I would note.
Yeah, you got no other choice but
Yeah, you gonna agree because she gonna get on your ass.
Yeah, you ain't got no other choice but to agree.
You got no choice.
That Gator, that.
You know what? He's got a different tone now.
That's that black woman tone.
Black woman sometimes. You got to give them that credit. It take a black woman.
While the language in the statute doesn't say that, someone gave me that same insight earlier. I personally believe that although not stated in the legislation, and maybe even some councilman would disagree.
So basically what he's saying is everything he said Gator should be doing was all his, he made that up.
That's
That
right.
was,
He did. It's
that
not in
was,
the state statute. That's right.
Agreed. That there was some back
Tavares,
and forth between.
you didn't hear Miss Christoph said that was me.
no, she said I was there.
Right. She was
Yeah,
there.
she was there. She was a part of the original Cleater group.
Right.
Okay.
Before it got taken over by the other dude and turned into Louisiana Central, which is pretty much, they turned CLETA into an extra arm of the Chamber of Commerce. So that didn't really help us. So there you go.
ASED and GATA at the time and the purposes, I would tell you that it is my belief personally, morally and otherwise, that GATA, whether stated or not, the vision was that it would be used as a tool, particularly.
Oh, she caught him. You know what, guys? We never caught this. She caught him in a lie, and he's trying to clean it up. She caught him in a lie. She caught him lying in real time. And now he's trying to clean it up.
Well, there's two things here. One is Jack Roy formulated in his mind what Gator purpose is, which is not stated in the statute. And then he wants to reject what Candy Christoph just said, because he's saying now that was the belief, that was the course that the original group wanted Gator to follow, but that was not specifically stated in the statute. So now he's accusing her of the same thing that he's trying to use to justify his reason for taking Gator's money and putting it in Wise and Go Ring. So he's saying it should come to the city for renovating buildings. And Candy is saying when it was created and brought locally, they decided it was going to go into blighted communities. And it doesn't state that in the statute, nor does it state that Gator money is solely the property of the city of Alexandria to be used at the mayor's disposal. So he's speaking with a forked tongue.
To help communities that had not been involved in major economic development for various reasons, and let me be specific, African-American aspects of our community. And moreover,
what were the various reasons? If he says for various reasons, and he specifically talks about our communities, what were the various reasons why they weren't being paid any attention to when it came to economic development? And why are you trying to take the money away from them again?
that it would have to follow and should follow blight in other areas. And so I want you to know that the Spark districts, which are drawn based solely on that. So if you look at where Spark is and can be, it follows exactly that same CDBG and other federal tracks. This is in that. This track is in that. This is a District 3 area that is in need. To the extent you would want to see things.
So we're gonna stop right there, guys. So what did we learn tonight? We learned that Curtis is in the cage. We learned that Jonathan Goins is basically Trey Gist employee. We learned that McCaffrey, it was supposed to be the interface for the black folks, well, Jock Roy and the black folks at that community meeting, and that shit didn't go over too well. And the last thing we learned is that Jock is using the fact that the Bryson Gold Ring building is in District 3 to justify the fact that it is going to blighted communities. It's going downtown to the Bryson Gold Ring building. It's blight. So, yeah. Screw your brown.
And what Candy Christoph said, not that it needed to go into neighborhoods. See, not downtown, but neighborhoods.
So we learned that sometimes white people, particularly, and I'm not trying to posit it like that, but here in this area, they tend to act like they're people from their grandfathers, their great grandfathers, and we all know that they didn't even want us voting. Damn sure didn't want us owning homes. Damn sure didn't want us owning businesses like Curtis. Remember, Curtis said that everybody's not business owner material. That's right, folks. Another business owner is telling the public that everybody doesn't need to be running a business. And Curtis, if you remember that conversation, I remember you referred to one of my friends or several of my friends as peasants. And ever since then, I've looked at you sideways. Well, it might have took me a few years, but I circled back around to this issue with you. And you, sir, are a coon. And I know you don't care about being called a coon, but it's not just because you're playing the fiddle for Jock and dancing at the same time, which is an incredible talent. You're also able to switch between banjos too. So you play the banjo and the fiddle. And sometimes you might even play the tub. But I know you know how to play the washboard. But either way it goes,
Oh boy.
we're on our way off the plantation and we're not using you as a band. I don't care how much money Jock throws at you for fets to come stand on stage with that string and that washboard with the stick on the top of the wash tub for the bass. Yeah, we're not doing that. Not with you, sir. So
You talking about the overalls and everything? Huh?
Yeah, with the overalls and the straw hat. Yeah, you're a damn one-man band, you know, but we're not buying it. And I'm not speaking for everybody in the Black community. I'm only speaking for the real ones. Yeah, we're not buying it. And we're not peasants. And I hope you do well in business. I just hope you don't do well in business in Alexandria. I hope you take that fiddle show on the road. Maybe if you go to Jackson, Mississippi, you might have a better chance like them other Black people that, you know what I mean? Oh, that's right. You can't leave. Yeah. So, yeah, don't call people peasants, bro, because people might not forget you said that. So, you're not going to get any forgiveness from me. Sorry for that. Listen, you're not going to get any lenience from me. I'm not going to offer that to you. I'm not going to give you any understanding. None of that. You wanted to beef with people, and now it is what it is. Hold on. Somebody said it's the Jock Roy Minstrel Show. It's a traveling band. And they're here between here and Baton Rouge. They're at all the fetes. They're going to be at the Crawfish Boil for 250. They're going to be doing all the fundraising. They're going to be doing this reignite. You know what I mean? I got to stop. I got to hang around people that won't encourage me to do such silly things. But I damn sure ain't playing no fiddle for no damn Jock. I know I'm better than that. But at any rate, folks, it has been a pleasure. It has been a heck of a week. We've done well. This week's Tuesday show, I don't even know how you guys got it up that high. Appreciate it. Keep watching. Keep being engaged. Keep being informed. If you're on Facebook and you're watching us, cut the malarkey. We've got we've had 1,100 followers for at least the last year and a half, but on the average, we're averaging 2,000 views per show. So there's 1,000 people out there watching this program and not following the page. You don't have to lurk. There's 1,000 of you out there lurking. That's crazy. That's insane. Follow the page, man. Engage. Just like right now, it says there's 6 people. It's not. There's a lot more than that. And when we wake up in the morning, there'll be a lot more than that. But either way it goes, good night, guys. We're going to leave on the sweet sounds of Rise Like the... No, we're going to do... we're going to do the rock song. We're getting out of here, folks. Thank you, Mr. Porter, for joining us. Thank you, Miss Makey from Humanity 2020. Thank you, Miss Sharon Bam. Thank you, Miss McCall. Thank you all. Thank you all. We're out of here. Thank you for all the guests, too. Thank you for all the comments. We're getting out of here.